Well, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Deck to Sim live stream. Today is the 22nd of August 2021, 32 minutes past 4 in the United Kingdom. We're back in X-Plane 11, back in the excellent ZIBO mod 737, as voted by you. 1,400 people voted on that community post yesterday, so thank you very much for everyone that took part. Very close between this and the 747-200. I think you can guess what we're taking out next time. But yes, we've got a lovely two-sector day for you today. It's been a long time. Streaming is a rarity these days. I'm flat out at work. Up to about 90 hours in the last 28 days, but I have a few days off now. Had this stream planned, and hopefully the 747-200 in the next few days as well. We are in Milan Malpensa today, northern Italy. We'll be flying to Olbia on the island of Sardinia. Flight time around 50 minutes there and back. We've got some lovely scenery, very kindly given to me by ORBX as well. This scenery you can see is from Aerosoft, which I purchased a few months ago. It's not the first time we've been in and out of Milan Malpensa. Hope you're all doing very well anyway. Who have we got in chat today as we zoom on into the aircraft? Jack's here as well. He always, as soon as I start talking to myself, he's wondering, who are you talking to? And he comes and says hello. Anthony Teal, hope you're doing well, buddy. Listerman, Lauren V, Norbert says hello. Pete S, Rez X from Wales is here. Wilson Lueng, whose intro music never gets old. Thank you very much. MGS1 is here. Simply Bob, Joe Drage, Graham Young. Kaon says Cat Jam, unbelievable. Who else? We've got Jamie Cook, Ruben, Christopher Davies, Craig Addison, Lee Holcroft. Lots of you here today as well. I see a few people have joined in to come in on the first sector on VATSIP, which is pretty cool. It looks like we've got a lot of ATC here as well. There's ATIS, Departure Tower, and ground maybe, so that would be pretty cool. Maybe we'll get some ATC into Olbia as well. Now, unusually, I've broken my rule, okay? So, ZIBO, you might have noticed, those of you who follow the ZIBO mod closely, there's not been many updates recently. That's because he's busy beavering away, bringing some substantial updates and changes, primarily to how LNAV works and how it's depicted on the ND. And that's obviously caused some issues. Now, I don't know much about coding or anything like that, but ZIBO explained to me when he's transferring from XLUA to C++, sometimes there's bugs. I tested it this morning in 349, get this right, 347.19 E9. We had a few problems. ZIBO's applied some fixes, and we're in 347.19 E10 today. So things could possibly go wrong. You never know. But this is, this is the great thing about it. I could do testing for ZIBO. I could sort of have a rough idea of what it should be doing at a certain stage, provide the feedback as well. So this version isn't public. Still, the latest public version I think is 347. Is it 17 or 16 maybe? I'm not sure. But yeah, if we have any problems, we should be able to at least revert to heading, selected vertical speed, fly a bit like a 7.200, but touch wood, we won't have any major problems there. Lauren, the alpaca on the remote stand, passengers must be furious why they have to bus to and from where there are plenty of free stands with jetways. Well, a lot of airlines sometimes pay for only remote stands, and they might not have air bridges available for them to use, to be fair. We don't forget as quiet in VATSIP as it does in real life, I suppose. Who else we've got in here? Ben Matthews, hope you're feeling better, Ben. We all saw your post there in Discord the other day. Keep going with your recovery, and thanks for letting us know how you're getting on as well. But yes, Jordan's lovely Boeing-themed Alpaca Airways livery for us today. Right, so let's merge into the air bridge. There we are. It's like we're boarding. Look, smash straight through the wall. Ah, there's the door. Ah, perfect. We're in. Very smooth and cool. Right, let's get the show on the road here. So batteries on, GPUs on the bus, electric hydraulic pumps are on. Landing gear levers down. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green lights, and we then check out the aircraft documentation. The chances of me saying JAL Airways today is very high. Like I said, 90 hours I've been doing in the last 28 days. So much flying, they've actually had to take off some of my flights next week. So that's good. I've got hopefully a bit more time to do a couple more streams. But yeah, it's been great. I've been back now on the line for, was it 12 weeks, and steadily picked up. Throughout the stream, I'll try and answer any questions you have about what's flying like at the moment as well. But yeah, it's a bit of normality at least for myself at the moment there. Slick, said Paul Emerson. It wasn't that well, as slick as I can be with my keyboard. Cool. Right, let's go on here and do the fault and fire tests. So here's the squibs: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green lights. Fault APU detector in op. And we have the wheel well fire warning as we have AC power, 3 warning lights, engine overheat, and overheat detector fire warning light and master caution lights illuminated. Emergency exit lights we can now arm. Let's have a look at our flight plan. So 2 sectors. Here's the first flight plan from Milan Malpensa to Olbia in Sardinia. First ever time we've been to Sardinia on any live stream. So it says 1 hour 5 minutes. Now this is something we actually have to think about in real life as well. A lot of SIDs and stars now, they've gotten rid of conventional holding and they have these very long, as you've seen before on previous streams, RNAV arrivals, which basically snake towards the runway. The likelihood of us flying the full approach is pretty slim unless it's very busy. So the flight time's about actually 10-15 minutes less than that. Thank you very much to Matej Borovka's just joined as a member. Glad you enjoyed the content. You'll get invited to our members only Discord and hope you enjoy using your custom emojis in chat as well. Thank you. Right, so the fuel here, 5556. Weather's very nice in Olbia. They are forecasting potentially thunderstorms later in Milan Malpensa. If I was flying there today, I'd be quite happy taking 5.6 tons. But you guys know what VATSIM was like. It was only a couple of streams ago. We were flying in on fumes on the A310. So I'm going to take the compulsory 30 minutes extra, which allows for that. In fact, what I should have done is actually plan for a tankering sector, round trip. We've been doing a lot of that recently. A lot of the airports fly to, the fuel's quite expensive. But we'll say that's 5.5 plus 1,200 kilos would be 6.5, 6.7 on the fuel. So we'll go here to fuel 6.7. That's 30 minutes on top of our standard amount of fuel. And payload, we said 169 passengers today, so not far from being full. There we are. And we'll call for the fuel truck as well.
Ground flight deck hose is connected and starting refueling.
He's connected his hose. 0 fuel 8 we're looking for is 57.4. There we are, 57.307, so the aircraft's all loaded with our passengers. Dizzy, I had the newest version of the ZIBO, and the FMC keeps freezing. Yes, if you have any issues with the FMC freezing, I don't know if the latest public version's been having those issues. I did have one recently, I tested it, did. You can hold down menu, which does reset it. That isn't a feature which a real FMC has. Even in flight you can do that. You can still at least put some basic approach information in there, but hopefully he'll fix all that soon. Elliot Smith, could we get some Collimata Concourse soon? Sorry, my voice is breaking. I've got a bit of a sore throat today. The members will know why. I was sort of shouting and singing last night in the car. Damaged my vocal cords, I swear. Collimata Concorde. I'm waiting for V2 to be released, but I have a stream idea for the Concorde, which I'll hopefully do soon. It's been a while since we jumped into that aircraft there. So, let's carry on with the rest of the check. Push the attend button. That tests that. Flaps up, which is matching the indicator position as well. Working our way down here. We can do the config check. Cargo fire test. There we are. Discharge, forward aft, 2 green lights. Fire warning lights illuminated as well. Turn up the panel lighting. Rudder and aileron trim. We check his 3 and 0. Manual gear extension doors closed. Circuit breakers are all in. Escape ropes tethered to the aircraft. Let's do the flight recorder test. That's working fine. Back airspeed warning test. We might get... There we are. Stall warning test number 1 and number 2. IRS2 nav. Don't routinely go to here, but just to show you, 8 minutes for the alignments. Circuit breakers are all in. On the captain's side, crash axe is installed. PPE all looking good. We can now... Oh, I just saw an aircraft transform in front of me. We can now start the boarding for our sector. Very good. Rockstar life. Exactly. When are we seeing Flight Deck to Sim karaoke, said Wilson Luang. Maybe in the next live. Jamie Cook, hey Captain. When you say check the aircraft documentation, what does that include in real life? Very good point there, Jamie. So in the real aircraft, it's you see here, that's actually quite realistic. There's a little metal bar here and there's a little A4 kind of folder, and it contains things like the aircraft certificate of airworthiness, noise certificates, certificate of insurance, and we just need to make sure it's there. Never have I not seen it's there, but we just need to make sure it's there, matches the reg. Some of them have like certificates for all of the aircraft in the fleet there, and that's part of pilot flying's responsibility on the first sector of the day, so that's just where it's located. Excellent. So we do have some ATIS here. Let's see if we can copy the information. Let me grab the frequency, 121625. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's working on voice, which is sometimes the case on VATSIM. So I'll double click it. It does say information Golf, expect ILS approach, arrival runway, departure runway, without actually saying what the runway is. Okay, well it's going to probably be 35 left or 35 right. That's what they're using right now in Milan Malpensa. Transition level 70, wind is calm. but variable between 150 and 250 degrees. Impressive. Clear skies, temperature 30 degrees, dew point 17, QNH 1015. So 1015 is set. Now, because I'm doing 2 sections there, I didn't get a chance to take a screenshot of the Boeing OPT performance. I do have data for Milan Malpensa. It does say the MFRA is going to be 2020. So usually the MFRA is 1,000 feet above aerodrome level, so it would be 1,700 feet. But for this, for some reason in Milan Malpensa, it's a little bit higher. A lot of people ask me, where do I get the information from the MFRA? This is, you won't be able to find this online or on any charts. It's from the Boeing OPT, and I think even the company specific. They're basically heights calculated to ensure that you have sufficient terrain clearance, obstacle clearance for each of the stages in the event of an engine failure. So that's why we set that there. We went to that height to accelerate. Less than expected to depart from a runway, unless you're Turkish Airlines. Who saw about the Turkish Airlines taking off? Was it Boston or somewhere in the United States? They tried to take off on a taxiway. Be careful. Lauren V, 35 left, usually preferred for takeoff at Malpensa. I am aware. Lauren, higher MFRA due to trade to the North Alps after all. Well, actually, higher MFRA is not so much to do with terrain such as the Alps there. It's more to do with terrains in the first and second segment of the engine failure profile, so kind of below 1,000 feet there might be some obstacles or something like that. You can adjust your performance by extending the point at which you bug up as well. There's all sorts of weird performance calculations. The beauty of it is these days we just punch in the figures in OPT and it tells you there. Perfect. So that's set. We do have ground. You know what? It's a bit.
Flight deck fuel is all loaded up, and you are good to go.
Thank you very much, Leonardo. Right, let's try the ground frequency 1219, because classic Italy, they have multiple SIDs and multiple transitions for departure. So before I start loading, before I start loading the FMC, I want to just make sure I know what the SID and transition is.
Juliet Mike taxi holding point Whiskey Bravo runway 35 left via Sierra Whiskey.
Loving it. Very Italian, very authentic.
Taxi via Sierra Whiskey and Zulu to hold point Whiskey Bravo for 35 left, Alpaca 1 Juliet Mike.
Excellent. Malpensa ground, very good afternoon. It's Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo. We're currently located on stand 406 and copied information Golf QNH 1015, departure clearance to Olbia, please.
Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo, very good. Evening Malpensa ground information Golf correct. You are clear to Olbia via Farak 5 Alpha departure, Lagan 9 uniform transition, runway 35 left, initially climb 5000, squawk 5403.
Cleared to Olbia on the Farak 5 Alpha Lagan 9 uniform transition, climb 5,000 feet, and that's from runway 35 left, squawk 5403, Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo. Drum roll. So 5,000. Usually they say read back correct. I'll give it 5 more seconds.
Gadget 18 Echo, we are ready for...
We'll presume that's correct, so we could probably play the stream back a few times to confirm the readback. Might be having
Gadget 18 Echo,
headset issues.
To holding point.
But 5,000 feet, we'll load the FMC with clearance. We'll go from there. So you can see, when he gave us that clearance, he gave us, we had the Lagan 9 uniform. That's not the, it's the SID. But we need to have the initial clearance or transition to get us towards Lagan, and that's via Farak. So this is Italy, classic Italy. They love these SIDs and transitions and stuff. So if we now go to the FMC, we can start loading it. So we're in Malpensa, India Mike Charlie. And we're going to Olbia, Lima India Echo Alpha Oscar. Call sign today Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo. Departure 35 left, and we were told it would be the Farak 5 Alpha, so I just need to make a note of that so I don't forget. And then it will be a Lagan 9 uniform transition, as you can hear that guy getting his clearance. I'm just going to turn VATSIM down there. Cool, so that's the initial part of the SID in. So after Lagan, it's Lima 50 to Unita. from UNITA, Mike 858 to Tortu. From Tortu, Upper Mike 858 to Ajo. From Ajo, Upper Mike 733 to Corsi. And they'll be using runway 05 in Olbia, that's what's going to be likely. Corsi to Romeo arrival, so arrival. Corsi to Romeo, ILS 05, and it's not via any of the transitions, I don't think, so I'll activate that, execute, just check the plan page. Very nice, you can see one of the things you might be able to notice here, ZIBO's been adjusting LNAV, and the magenta line now, the way it's depicted is far more realistic, so you've got this to look forward to when it's finally released as well. There's just a few bugs, we might even discover some today, but this is the reason I'm using this version today, so ZIBO will provide the feedback to make any adjustments as required, but it is getting close to release this version. Yes, sorry, I just wanted to quickly step through the route, make sure we're happy. Sorry, I'm deserting chat here for a second, so step through there. Looking good, nice magenta line all the way to our destination. There's our squiggly S arrival into Olbia. Very good, so that is activated. Let's do the performance. So 0 fuel 8, 57.3 reserves for our alternate, I think our alternate. So I generated quite a few alternates for our first sector. Lima, India, Echo Alpha. Is that Adio? Someone will be able to pronounce it. It's the other airport on the island of Sardinia. We'll go there if we have to divert initially. Reserves for that is going to be 2.3. I'm never going to try and pronounce that ever again. Cost index will be 30. And cruising at flight level 290 today. Quite low. It is quite a short sector. Top of climb wind 271 at 35. That is in. We then go to execute legs. We need to be off plan so we can get the step function. Route date function. And we just put the average wind in, which is 278 at 23. Put that in the first waypoint after top of climb, which is easy to work out. It's the one with the wind information, the first one. So that's in. Top of climb ISO deviations +9. So that's executed. OPT then, so the real Boeing OPT performance app says if we take the Foxtrot intersection for runway 35 left, which is just here, so we don't have to use the full runway length there. If we could take Foxtrot, runway 35 left, we can go full 24k, 96.1. It says 96.7. When I put the APU bleed on, it should say about 96.0, but we've got 96.1 in the OPT, so it's pretty close to what we're expecting. Flap 5 V-speeds, we're expecting a 37, 38 and 45. We have 36, 37 and 45. CGs, 20% of Mach, 5.75 units for the trim, which is set, and V2 145 knots we can punch in here. Excellent. We're getting there, guys. How are we doing for time? We have 10 minutes until we are due off stand. Just kick off at ZIBO until it's right. ZIBO's working really hard. You know how lucky you guys are. HK's flight simulation is doing very well, thank you. Could you show us the VSD? Yes. I mean, it's not much point now, but the VSD we use at my operator as pilot monitoring to increase situation awareness. Why is a dashed yellow line there? But yeah, it's using the Dr. Gluck's terrain guidance radar as well. It's very, very accurate now. So your damper is on. Flight control spoiler switches and alternate flaps are closed. Nav transfer display switch is a normal auto. Fuel, we can put the 4 pumps on. There's no fuel in the centre tank today, just in the wing, so we don't need the centre tank fuel pumps on. Crossfeed closed. Make sure the valve open light goes from off to dim to bright, and then off to dim to bright to dim, and then dim to bright to off. I'm trying to get that right. AC/DC metering panel is set. Panel light, it'll turn that up. It'll be dark by the time we get back later to Milan. Window heat we can turn on. Edge anti-ice off. We've got the forward entry door. We're boarding through the air bridge. Air conditioning and pressurization panel is set. We'll imagine we have external air connected now. You might notice at airports, yeah, you see this big yellow tube here. When it's very hot and when you have an air bridge like this, they'll connect this this external air to the aircraft, and that means we don't need the APU on during the turnaround. We can have cool conditioned air entering there. Part of the supplementary procedure to ensure we get the conditioned air is to turn the packs off. So the packs would be off in this instance. It does say in the supplementary procedures, it says it can damage the packs if you leave them in auto with air-ground conditioned air, but you'd have to turn it on so it's not simulated. But if you look here, the temperature of the cabin, it's 30 degrees. It'd be much hotter, I think, with the sun beating on it at the moment. Right, what else we got left to set here? Voice recorder's on, trim air's on. We'll put the, as I was saying, we'll put the packs in auto now anyway, because we'll imagine the external air is about to be disconnected. We're cruising at 290. Elevation is close to 50 feet in Olbia. That should be on to steady. We're now ready to set up the MCP for our SID. HK said Phoenix Sim is going to face tough competition. Yes, we've heard about the A320 there as well. V2 is in the heading window. I was beginning to wonder why the AYARP emoji was making an appearance. Oh no. Right, let's just read back the chat here. V2 was put in heading. Oh, this is where I get the email saying, I don't think you're a real pilot because you put the V2 speed in the heading bug. Interesting. Good afternoon, Captain and guys. Hello, Ed. I hope you're doing well. Nothing to see here. Waypoint Richie. Other professional streamers are available. Exactly. Carrying on. Let's set the MCP for departure. So, runway heading is 348 degrees. Let's see if I'll set 348 here. No, I'm joking. 348 here. Oh dear. Let's set the courses to 348 for now. It's an RNAV SID, I believe. 348. Now, you can clip that one if you want, guys. Right, flight director's on. We'll brief the taxi and SID shortly. Order brake to RTO, reset fuel flow, cage the standby, artificial horizon. It's very realistic. It's exactly the sort of movements it makes. There we are. That's set. QH is set on the standby altimeter 1015. Instruments are set, trim set, snap trim canal switch is normal. We've done the cargo fire test, done the red on trim. Perfect. So in reality, First officer, or pilot monitoring I should say, has completed his walk around. He's back in the flight deck. He's told me the aircraft is all good outside. We then fill in the tech log because the fueling is complete, and we have a little slip we'd give to the dispatcher when he eventually completes loading, closes the gate. We then check our routing, making sure that all the waypoints are in correctly, cross-checking the distance, fuel on arrival. Fuel on arrival, we're estimating 3.5 tonnes, our reserves are 2.3, so that's our extra 1,200 kilos we took. We then check the instrumentation, complete a takeoff briefing. There is actually an engine out departure, or what we call a special engine out SID here, or what we used to call an emergency turn, and that's because of the terrain to the north. The Alps are quite close here, so we better put that in. Again, where can you find this information? You can't. It's airline specific. Yeah, what am I doing anyway? I'm not putting the runway in. Yeah, so it's based off the Malpensa VOR, Mike Papa. If the engine were to fail after V1, we would climb straight ahead till 3 miles away. And then once we're there, we'd make a left turn to hold at LNAV, which is the missed approach 435 left, hold there at 4,000. So you can see how it's depicted on the ND. In the event of an engine failure, we'd go here, left turn, cutting out the SID, direct to LNAV to hold at 4,000. Stops us going in a straight line towards the terrain there. Set the squawk, Captain, thank you very much. Just testing you. Well done for spotting 540.
30,
Terrible
20,
habit in the sim,
10.
in the X-plane, when I'm in the sim, forget to set the squawk. Thank you very much, Tom Pasco, $2 set squawk, Captain. Thank you very much. Right, where's our list then? Heading bug was actually done for the speed or vice versa, and I haven't set the squawk. That's 2. Any more to come? Keep them coming in. Tom, I hope you're doing very well. Thank you very much for your donation, your continued support as well as a member. Very, very cool. Right, what else have I need to do? We just need to do our briefings, don't we? So yeah, we've done that. We've discussed the engine out SID. We then discuss our emergencies, so actions in events of an RTO or into an engine failure. Taxi then, as I mentioned earlier, on stand 406, I believe it was. Let's just double check. Yes, 406, probably push back to face south on Yankee. We're eventually going to make our way over to Kilo or Whiskey, and then once we're on that taxiway, we'll go via Whiskey. we might try and be a bit cheeky. We have performance to take off via Foxtrot. If not, we'll go via Whiskey Bravo or Golf Whiskey for full length departure. So the SID then, so I need to change this. We're actually now flying a Farrick 5 Alpha. So here's the fun part, is trying to locate the SID with the numerous SIDs they have out of airports like this, transitions. Oh my days. Well, I wish they did have a search function. There it is. Farrick 5 Alpha wasn't too hard. So, runway 35 left, RNAV 1 SID. For transitions from Farrick, refer to charts 1037V8, or sorry, 3V8, which is the one we have. So here it is. It is climb straight ahead 1200 feet to Mike Charlie 623. Mike Charlie 623, there's the 1200 feet. Once we're there, it's a left turn, max 210 knots to Mike Charlie 624. 1800 feet or above the next restriction, then 3000 feet above, then to Mike Charlie 628. Once we're there, it's left turn 229. We have 227 to LNAV 11.2, 9.5. So a slight discrepancy there in the distance, but it does look correct. And then from there, it's a left turn to Farrick 1574.8. We've got 1564.4. Now I know usually in the real aircraft, these waypoints exactly match the distances. So I think there could be a slight discrepancy with the new LNAV system. Thank you, J-Dog.
Looking forward to 145 degree knots.
Thank you, J-Dog, for the tenor. Very kind of you. Yes, climb heading 310 knots. Oh my god, what we started. J-Dog, thank you very much for your amusing donation there. Very, very kind of you. Oh dear, oh dear. I hope you're doing very well, sir. Thank you for your generosity yet again. Simply buff LNAV and VNAV armed at my operator. We only arm LNAV when we've been cleared to line up and wait. Right, SID we're happy with, and 5,000 feet stop altitude, so I'm just going to stick in 5,000 feet. Let's put it at NELAB. Look, that ensures we won't go above it if we've incorrectly set the MCP, and VNAV will respect it and level off there. Anything else to mention there? Minimum climb gradient, so quite a steep. Yes, 7.5% until passing 3,000. NADP1 will satisfy that. So my operator says, yeah, to satisfy the minimum climb gradient. Because look at the terrain here to the north, very, very high. So we'll maintain NADP1. Right, APU started, better pushback organised. We are 1 minute away from our scheduled departure time. As you always know, I always try to aim to push back 30 minutes after starting the stream. So that's that, and we'll see which Italian person we have pushing us back today. So ground services, better pushback, pre-plan. Disorientated, yes. Well, what I'll do, I'll connect it first, because I'm not sure which
ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Ciao, buonasera. Very good. I love how better pushback has the languages based on which country you are. Perfect. Keep me up with my Italian today. Let me know if I'm making any mistakes. Very, very good. Giuseppe, yes, P-Test. Giuseppe, the pushback driver. Perfect. Right, I don't think I've forgotten anything. Well, I know what I have done. Let's close the doors, so we'll do that now. So imagine all the passengers are seated, cabin is secure, ground crew are nearly ready. APU's up and running now, so we'll put that on the bus. We'll time to disconnect the ground power. We'll go from there.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Very good. Alan Ben, is that ATC a real person? It was a real person. I'll turn him up. There you go. You can hear him talking. So that's called the VATSIM network there, Alan Ben. It's a professional sort of simulated ATC, and it is very hard to sometimes differentiate between real ATC and VATSIM, and those using VATSIM, and the other network as well, IVEO, is another one available. I haven't used IVEO, but it's just as good. Very good. It's one of the low-cost carriers around here. We've got Wizz Air, EasyJet, we've got Ryanair, Alpaca Airways all over here. It's getting nice and busy.
Alpaca 57 Lima, taxi to holding point, Whiskey Bravo, runway 35 left via Sierra, Whiskey and Zulu number 3.
So I'll request push to start now. Get some cool conditioned air into the cabin now. It's very warm outside. And Malpensa ground, Alpaca 1 Lima, Bravo, stand 406, request push and start.
Alpaca 1 Lima, Bravo, QNH 1015, push and start, approved facing south.
Push start approved facing south, Alpaca 1 Lima, Bravo. Perfect, so...
Alpaca 4 Mike Juliet, request push South, stand 50.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
So facing south.
Start approved facing south.
Perfect.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking
So
brake.
packs off. Anti-vision light is on. Parking brake we can now release and transport it out of.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
There's the air bridge going. We're on our way.
Speedbird 2247 requesting RFL clearance to Zurich.
Speedbird 2247, I'm just looking at your flight plan.
Postcon, yes, I've heard of Postcon as well. Will Hedward, Italian people in the chat, when they hear overly stereotypical Italian names. Oh, we love a stereotypical name over at Flight Deck to Sim with whatever country we're flying from.
Lima taxi to holding point Whiskey Bravo, runway 35 left via Kilo.
So there is a little bug here. I did make ZIBO know, when you select airports, it doesn't seem to show all airports in the area. I mean, to be fair, we're not facing north, there's not going to be many more, but on departure earlier, there were some errors. The forward door isn't open. You saw what happened? I closed it! What is going on? I would bet £100 I closed that door.
Speedbird 2247 Malpensa.
I've got no words. You saw me close it. I just closed the thing that said door.
Speedbird 2247 information hotel current, and you are clear to Zurich. Expect vectors for the first waypoint.
Why did it open?
Time 35 correction.
I just blame
Takeoff
Jim.
runway 35 left.
I've got no words. Starting to. Well, not a good idea to start just with the L1 door open. God damn it. It's not going to be one of those streets. I can't even remember how to close it. Doors. Yeah, thanks, number one. Oops. Yeah, you can arm it now as well. It's quite a cool view. Dear. Right, 25%. Oh my goodness me. Spar valve dim bright off. No words. Thanks, Edo. It's good. It's so high here. It's nice.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Brake set. I think I know why the door opened, guys.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
So, what happens is, I think it's to do with the air bridge. It automatically, there's now a trigger, either in the ZIBO mod, when the air bridge gets retracted, that whatever the door is, it does the opposite. So it presumes it was open and then closes it. So I think it thought it was closed instead of closing it, it opened it instead. Ah well. Oh right, better start engine 1. Disconnect.
Follow the A320 Neo, straight ahead. Next to overput Whiskey Bravo on B35 left.
But to be fair, that's why we have checklists ensures that the doors would have been closed here. Oops, don't turn off the electric hydraulic pumps either. N2, we have oil pressure N1.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed and signal authorized. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Ciao.
Buonasera, information hotel readability 5.
Ground Ryanair 38 Yankee uniform, stand 608, information
hotel monitoring engine number 1.
Type Boeing 737-800.
Excellent.
Request for clearance to Zurich, please.
Everyone's going to Zurich.
Ryanair 38.
Excellent, bypass pin has been seen. Right, let's do before taxi flight. Generators on, APUs off, start switch is continuous. Propeats on, anti-ice off, packs auto, installation valve auto, thanks to AP bleeds off.
Call yourself a captain, smiley face, smiley face.
Call yourself a captain. Thanks a lot, Tim. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Thanks for your continued support. Yes, there's several mistakes here today. not too bad. I'm sure you're waiting for the next one. Flight controls done. Flaps 5. Black lower DU. Recall. And then we'll read and complete the before taxi checklist, which is just here to make sure the aircraft's correctly configured. Excellent. We can now request taxi. Lauren, possibly an event in Zurich today. There was very limited some events today. I tried to find one for today. There was one in Havana, which is there every Sunday. So yeah, I didn't see one in Zurich.
Contact tower 119.0. Enjoy your flight.
119.0, runner 5, thank you, bye-bye. Park 4, Mike Juliet, request taxi.
Wizz Air A31, contact tower 119.0, enjoy your flight.
Just need to request taxi.
119.0, Wizz Air A31, thanks, see ya.
Last station calling again, please.
That's the other alpaca.
Alpaca 4, Mike Juliet, request taxi.
Alpaca 4, Mike Juliet, taxi, holding point Whiskey Bravo, runway 35 left via Yankee and...
Michael, someone send me the link to the exact aircraft he's using, so it's ZIBO Mod 737.
Bravo, runway 35 left, can you just repeat the taxi instructions, please?
Getting it pushed in front of you.
4, Mike Juliet, taxiways are Yankee and Zulu.
Yankee and Zulu, for 35 left. Alpaca 4, Mike Juliet, cheers.
Just
Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo, request taxi, traffic permitting, Mabel Foxtrot.
all pilots who want to request
40,
taxi, please
30,
stand by because
20,
lots of you are
10.
just already at the old point.
Thank you.
Brake breaker Ryanair 5,
Thank you very much, Nigel Flops.
Contact tower 119.
Are you looking for the perfect excuse for all situations?
Oh, oh.
Why not buy the flight check to some excuse book? All excuses start with I know what happened there. A perfect companion to the FD2 Air Atlas.
Thank you very much, Nigel Flops, who is promoting my Fly Data Sim Excuses book, yet to be released, to be added to the Fly Data Sim Atlas, which you actually have to read upside down to actually know where you are. That's very kind of you, Nigel Flops. Thank you very much for your generosity there. Thank you. I found that so amusing and distracted. I forgot what the controller said. He said something about everyone requesting taxi. Did he say... don't worry about it. Wait, I'm not sure. That was very funny, Natural Flops. Oh dear. Laura V, buy them in a bundle, yes. Buy one, get another one. I don't know, random amount less off, 7% off. Oh my dear. He said standby. Thank you, Listerman. We'll just wait a few more seconds then and see what's going on. I was very cheeky in trying to ask for Foxtrot, but this sometimes happens at very busy airports. You get pushed back, you might not even actually be able to start taxi for a few more minutes. Addy, can I pre-order the excuses book? Unavailable at the moment. I'm sure we could fill it up quite quickly, that's for sure.
Guys, anyone who was calling for taxi?
Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo.
Thanks for your patience, Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo. Yeah. Taxi to Olbia Costa Whiskey Bravo, runway 35 left via Yankee and Zulu.
Taxi hold point Whiskey Bravo for 35 left via Yankee and Zulu, Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo. Alright, so we're already on Yankee, so it's going to be all the way down here. Let's get to the other charts. Until we get to Zulu, and then Zulu Whiskey Bravo. I shouldn't be able to make any mistakes there, but you know me. Right, turned off taxi. Parking brake released. Clear left. Thanks, Jim. Clear right. Config. There we are. No takeoff config warning. And about 30% N1. As mentioned many times before, the speed.
Alpaca 02, contact tower 119.
The speed at which the edges spool up. In reality, to the ground idle from 20% to 30-40 is much, much slower, but there's a limitation in Expert 11 how the N1 thrust curve can be modelled. Thanks, Lauren V, for the heads up. Hello, Melik. Have a nice stream, Captain. Thank you very much. Thanks for popping in. The aircraft departing as well, if I... Ah, there we are. It's Wizz Air. Beautiful. It's a good pace, actually. We shouldn't be zipping along that fast. Diego, do you like the Walter White Max? Isn't that some dodgy, stolen version? It's like Voldemort, is it, in the flight sim community? I've not tried it or not flown it, nor do I wish to if it's what everyone says it is. But I do look forward to eventually flying some rendition of the Max in Microsoft Flight Simulator X-Men 11. Courage, does typing the FMC have any delay in real life, or is it like the ZIBO? No, you can. It has delay in the ZIBO mod. There is actually the option to allow for that delay, but I don't really like it. Yeah.
Alpaca 02, you just missed the Zulu.
Alpaca 02.
You're still on my frequency.
He gone, and he gone past Zulu. I better not miss it down. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's Zulu. Yeah, look, Zulu's here.
Alpaca 4, Mike Juliet, tower 119.0, enjoy your flight.
It's a beam, Whiskey
Tower
Bravo.
119.0, thanks for DTC7, bye.
Hakan, how was your week at work? Flights filled up with drug tourists? No, since the pandemic, or certainly this year, even the IB for the partners have been mostly families. You know, drunk passengers is very rare. You read about it in the paper and things like this, but most people are reasonably well behaved. We've had a few issues. I have personally had a few issues in the past, but once we've had to have someone offloaded. But
Controlla per favore le regole di volo perché risulti un VFR.
Classic Italy as well.
Pardon.
No problem.
There's Ryanair taking off on 35 left as well.
Ready for push start.
1, 2, 3, 4 aircraft there.
Start approach facing east.
Should be number 5 for departure.
PNH1015, push start approved, face east, speedbird 224.
2 tons, recent podcast My Pillow Experience has changed my opinion on the situation. Honestly, 2 tons, I know zero about it. I've only read snippets about it here as well, but I'm sure someone in Discord will be able to fill me in what the situation was with it.
Lima Bravo, contact tower 119.0, good day.
Tower 119.0, Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo, ciao.
For my good, are you with me?
So Zulu 1.
Alpaca 4, Mike Juliet. Thank you, all position. Alpaca 02, continue right now to Whiskey Bravo, number 1.
So there's a little bit of a conflict here. So I should think we've all been cleared to the whole point, so no one knew who to give away to who. So I think that might have been a slight error on ground's part. So who knows when he just tuned in.
430 Tango, are you with me? 430 Tango. Hello, sir. Opposition at Kilo please. Opposition 430 Tango.
So who's going?
And easy 430 Tango behind the aircraft ahead of you, Boeing 738. Continue behind the
say behind the Boeing 738 Alpaca. We actually did the before takeoff checklist.
For my Julia, sorry for this inconvenience. Continue to Whiskey Bravo behind the EasyJet Pacific 20 coming from your left and following behind.
After the EasyJet passes from left in front, follow him to Whiskey Bravo, Alpaca for my Julia.
Perfect. So before takeoff checklist, config we checked, flaps we have. 5-5 green light, Statron 5.8 units are set. Takeoff briefing, the PAX auto bleeds on, V speed set for departure, 36, 37, 45, no V speeds on the PFD. Departure is going to be the Farrack 5 Alpha, climbing straight ahead 1200 feet, and then it's to Mike Charlie 623, stop altitude's 5000 feet, which is set twice. NADP 1 departure. There's an engine out SID. In the event of an engine failure after V1, we're going to climb straight ahead 3 miles, and then we're going to make a left turn to hold at, what was that waypoint called? Can't remember now. Something or other. NELAB, that's it, which is all in the FMC. We'd use heading select for that as well. That is it. I imagine that's reviewed. We're just waiting for the cabin. Malpensa Tower, Buenos Aires, Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo. We're ready for departure in sequence. Whiskey Bravo 3 fly left.
Cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Hello, Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo, continue.
Perfect. So we are in the queue for departure. All looking good so far.
Ryanair 52 Romeo X-ray, radar 12675, ciao. 12675 for Ryanair 52 Romeo X-ray, thanks for ATC, good day. Good day.
HK's flight simulation 1 day. I have my public coming soon. I shall join in for sure. Really would be fun, as I am a VATSIM meme, and flying with you guys. It's okay with you. I feel is fun. Yes, so long as you do everything properly and professionally, that's fine by me. Anyone is always able to join in on the network.
Alpaca 02, 35 left, clear for takeoff with 220 degrees.
Wilson, can you see turbines sometimes using the weather radar? You can only see turbines associated with convective activity. So if you see a thunderstorm, you see magenta, that's severe turbulence. You don't want to go anywhere near that. But no, turbulence is not depicted or displayed in any way whatsoever. See, there's a bit of a debate going on about the Walter White Max. Well, I'll let you debate away in a thread in the Discord channel, but I'm probably not going to be using it anytime soon. Cool. So already we are number 3 behind Alpaca. I think it was 0-2 ahead of us. And I hope you're all enjoying the stream so far. It's going to be a nice little flight to Sardinia. It's great to be streaming again. It just feels like, you know, when the pandemic started, we've been so busy doing streams, doing 3-4 a week, and the height of it now, and been barely able to find the time at all. And I hope you're always enjoying it. I love it when we have the usual faces coming in to enjoy the stream. We'll fly the Phoenix 747-200 next, I think. I might do a little sector again in Europe. And DC-6. Lots of people asked for the DC-6. And the CJ, the Microsoft Flight Simulator, the CJ4, I think that's been updated to work with Sim Update 5 as well. I quite enjoyed that GA flight we did in the Just Flight PA28 last public stream on it was Friday the week before. Back of this queue here, unfortunately. Not all this traffic's going to Olbia though. It's going to Switzerland. You can see why. Want to turn left in the end of an engine failure. You don't want to keep going north towards all of that terrain there. Supernova, how much turbulence when you are number 3 or 4? Yeah, I'm not sure what you're referring to there, sir. Lauren, MD-80 and Airbus A319-21 overdue. Yes, the last Airbus 319-321 we flew was across the pond. I took the XLR, I think. Yes, I've not taken any modern Airbuses out for a while.
Easy for 30 Tango, free fire left, clear for takeoff, wind 20 degrees 4 knots.
So comment there, Wilson. Nice. Nice Mexican standoff at the taxiway. That was a different. It was Alpaca 4 Mike Juliet. I thought that was Alpaca 02. Right, so I'm happy with the taxi now, so we'll get rid of those charts. Now we've got our initial transition. There we are. He's been cleared to line up and wait. What will be next? Courage, what would you do if you got wind shear ahead as you were lining up? Well, you'd not get it because it's not active at that point, but any time prior to V1 we get a wind shear warning, we immediately reject the takeoff. And if we've already passed V1 and we started rotating, we'd immediately perform the wind shear escape maneuver if airborne. The predictive wind shear warning requires the weather radar. The reactive wind shear warning is based off EGPWS, and that only works below 1500 feet, or is active below 1500 feet RA. Yeah. Hello, long by name. He says, how does one go about joining Alpaca? So it's an unofficial virtual airline. You're always free to use the call sign on the network using Victor Charlie Papa. All the liveries are available to everyone as well. You don't need to be a member to sign it up. Some people don't realise that. So whilst I do have about, how many people watching? About 400 people here. If you ever want to download the liveries for any of my, well, I say any of my, they're not mine at all. I've not made a single one. All very generous, mostly members of the channel who spent their free time kind of building this unofficial virtual airline with paint schemes for the aircraft. Use the command exclamation mark livery. Oh my god, it's a big triple. Use the command exclamation mark livery in chat. You'll be able to do it. Also look past in any streams in the chat. You'll often see the command usually at the start of the stream. Someone's already asked a link for that very livery I'm using, as Jordan and Waypoint Richie are now demonstrating. No problem, long by name. Welcome. Captain, is it true that some folks like tea with a splash of milk? I quite like my tea quite strong. Perfect. Downloaded some ortho for this sector as well, not around the airport, fortunately. As you can see, it's just stock scenery because there was an issue with the ortho mesh. You have to generate sort of your own tile using the scenery, which I just couldn't bother to do. But I have got ortho for all of... line up, wait, 35 left, Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo. I have ortho for all of sort of south of Milan, Corsica and Sardinia, so that's good. Right, confirm read back, Jim. Yes, you've been cleared to line up and wait, Captain. Clear left, clear right. Let's do the checks below the line. So MCP is set, transponder TARA, strobe lights are on, and And just waiting for our takeoff clearance. There goes our colleague. Yes, thank you very much, Lauren. Yes, if you use VATSIM, don't forget to download the CSLs made by Jamlin, so you can also see every alpaca appear in all the liveries as well. I must stress that I don't do any of this. It's the generosity of the members that spend their free time to sort of make it an amazing sort of unofficial virtual airline, let's say. Right, just waiting for our takeoff clearance then, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be on our way. Jordan, I should be sleeping. Yeah, very early in the morning. Happy Monday to you.
That's fine, runway 34 left, company 471, thank you very much.
Good day, Ryanair 423, radio check.
Ryan 433, Malpensa Tower.
Yeah, it's a big old 777.
3555, Ryanair 433.
Yes.
Tower, speedbird 566, request taxi.
Speedbird 566, Malpensa Tower, good evening. Taxi on the point, Whiskey Bravo, runway 35 left via Yankee.
Hi, Ali from the Bahamas. Good morning to you.
Taxi, holding point, Whiskey Bravo via Zulu, Yankee.
Mateo, just in time for takeoff, yes.
Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo, 35 left, clear for takeoff, wind 220 degrees per month.
35 left, cleared for takeoff, Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo. Landing lights are on, checklist complete, let's go to Sardinia. Timing, like rate released, 40%, Toga's in chat.
Malpensa Tower, ciao, buonasera, Ryanair 38
Engine stabilised. Yes, it's just turn it up slightly. There we are, set takeoff thrust.
Whiskey Bravo 35 left via Yankee.
But 96.0.
Taxi, holding point, Whiskey Bravo,
There we are, takeoff thrust set, indications normal.
Ryanair 38
80 knots.
Check, release that forward pressure.
E1, rotate.
Up we go. 2.5 degrees per second. Nice rotation, a bit slow maybe. And we're airborne.
Positive rate.
Gears coming up. And LNAV. And 12675, Alpaca 1, Lima, Bravo 5. LNAV. Just get that turn in. There we are, there's 1200 feet. That's the conditional waypoint. That is a new feature which you didn't have on earlier versions. That's working beautifully.
1000.
Remember, it's NADP 1, so we don't accelerate until we get to what's the elevation here? 3,800 feet. Do a little flyby now. We're in this direction. Sweet. So once we're 3,000 feet AGL, we can accelerate. I will now engage the autopilot. We can still check in with ATC at this stage. Milano, Buenos Aires, Alpaca 1, Lima, Bravo. We're on the Franca 5, Alpha Lagan 9 uniform departure, passing 3,700 for altitude 5,000 feet. Bug up.
Alpaca 1, Bravo, hello, radar contact, continue climbing flight level 19.
Climb flight level 190, Alpaca 1, Lima, Bravo. So we're accelerating now, flaps 1. And that's set, you can set standards. Yeah, ZIBO's fixed this earlier. I had this big bug. Look at that, it's so good now. It's very realistic. Much better ZIBO. He's an absolute legend, guys. I can't stress how good he is. You describe a problem with him just with some pictures and a description. He knows how to fix it pretty much every time. Out of event, just delete that restriction, otherwise we'll level off. There we are, flaps up, no lights. We can now engage VNAV. Initially 220 knots for that turn here, so we've got to maintain max 220 until NELAB. And we're passing 5.8 for flight level 190 after takeoff checklist. Gears off, brakes off, start switches off, air conditioning and pressurization PSI, 2.2. That's climbing, auto, AUT. You're going to get very cold if I leave that there, so I'll put those up a bit there. So air conditioning and pressurization set. Happy to release the crew. And altimeter standard set, passing 70 for flight level 190 after takeoff. Checklist is complete. Beautiful. What a lovely departure, guys. And look at this. So this is why there's not been an update for ZIBO recently. It's been fine-tuning how LNAV works, the way it's depicted on the ND now. Much more realistic. The way the aircraft turns around these points as well is very realistic. One thing though, ZIBO, I know you might be watching, these distances and tracks, they're differing now slightly because you've adjusted the point at which they turn. They're usually very accurate to the distances here. So if you see 11.2 on a chart, 229, it's usually within 0.1 or 0.2, and it's usually within a degree. We've got in this case, obviously we're now flying towards it, but you can see here 1574.8, we've got 1564.4. That's unusual. It would usually be exactly the same. It would depict whatever it says on the chart there. So remember, we are now passing 103 for flight level 190, max 220 knots still. So we now need to complete the pre-cruise checks. Turn the alerts on. So fuel, we have 6 tons on board, 4 pumps, lights coming off. APU is off, pressurization 4.0 psi, and that is all set. We leave the seatbelts on at mile per rate at the moment, recool, and we then log into CPDLC, make sure I'm monitoring 1215. There we are. Checks complete. Paki Lights Ed, how long is the flight? It's about an hour, about 55 minutes to an hour. So yeah, just standard texture here unfortunately, but we'll have some ortho, I promise you, as we go a little bit further south. But it is a beautiful day in northern Italy. As we pass this waypoint here, as we pass a beam NELAB, you'll see the aircraft will accelerate now all the way from 220 to our econ climb speed of 291 as soon as we're a beam. So that's another thing that's changed now. The sequencing of the waypoint is perfect. It used to be a bit off if you were a beam. So look, 0.1, 0, a beam, 291. That is precisely how it works in the real aircraft. That is Tekker's ZIBO. I've not used that word in a long time, but that's what it is. Tekker's is used. Lauren, it would get very cold with the door open as well. It would do. So ETA at the moment is 29, but remember, as I mentioned, that full arrival is still in the FMC, and that FMC doesn't know that you'll have potential shortcut. It's likely to be 10 minutes less than that, so about 20 past, so it's about 50 minutes from now.
Speedbird 566, hello, radar contact,
Beautiful day.
level 190.
Anna Fran, ZIBO Beta, what's new? Have a look in the video description below. It's basically an entire reworking of how LNAV works and how the magenta line is depicted on the ND. There's a little bit of a thunderstorm to the south. You can stay over there. Might be some thunderstorms later. What is the TAF saying for Milan Malpensa? Just updating it at the moment. Coda, will ZIBO bring his mod to Microsoft Flight Simulator? Unlikely. Ah yes, so there's tempo between 1700 Zulu, so in 30 minutes, all the way until midnight Zulu, of thunderstorms around Milan. So.
Alpha 1 Lima Bravo, you're leaving my space and wait to see available monitor Unicorn 122 ATC, yes.
122 display, thank you so much for the ATC Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo, ciao. Lovely. So no ATC, we'll go all the way up to our cruise level then, our flight level 290 for this sector. So that is now set, and we check on the overhead panel, MCP, flight management computer, and 3 times set, all looking good. Oh, Gino, how's the offer going? You still downloaded everything back now that you've got your new drive? Yeah, Waypoint Richie as well mentioned about it. Have you got rid of some of your offer? Yeah, my hard drive stopped working, completely dead, and I couldn't even copy anything across from it as well. So I bought a new one. Apparently the drive I had was a network drive or something. It was the wrong type, and it isn't designed to be turned off and on multiple times when I use my PC, so that's the reason it worked. The guys at Discord were great. They helped diagnose the fault, downloaded some software, and it was something to do with the physical, is it spindle or the arm that reads the data? So I bought a replacement, a 6TB drive, and actually, do I say it was a blessing in disguise? Well, no, because it was hundreds of hours wasted. Also, I downloaded, making sure they all worked, and someone helped me do some stuff as well. But now I'm kind of reaping the benefits from having a lower level. I had a zoom level 17 for all of Europe, but actually I sometimes suffered from FPS issues because of that. Since getting rid of that, I don't have any issues, and I've been using zoom level 16 en route, or 15 in some cases. You can see that's where the ortho starts now. And just 17 around the airport, and I'm just getting much better performance. So it was sort of a weird blessing in disguise. Atomic Penguin, when you press RST on the minimum knob, does it return to the previous value? Yes. There you go, 2020. So the MFRA in that case, and then, yep, you often have to wind it down to your minimums. Dual Flunker, it's the reloading of all the backup old stuff that takes the time. Ah, yes, I can imagine. So, what I'm going to do now is a little bit of a test, okay? We're having a few issues, as ZIBO has told me he's rectified it. Routing to direct waypoint. So what I'm going to do is just routing direct to... Let's go direct to Largan. Okay, match AC, right, route direct to Largan. Okay, there's the white dash line. Now, hold on. Shh, just do another one. Let's go to Anaki. So, Anaki, we've got a nice white dash line. However, it shouldn't be starting at Tonda. It should be starting from where the aircraft is. Let me just try another one. Well, let's just get past Tonda first. Yeah, I just noticed the white dash line seemed to be coming out of Tonda. It should be exactly on the nose of the little white triangle. Because we're having issues earlier routing to waypoints where it wouldn't route, it would just start doing circles in LNAV. But that's what testing's all about. Look at that lovely ortho coming into view. There's a difference between, there's a stark contrast between the default scenery and satellite imagery. Ivico, how do you know your rate of rotation on takeoff? Experience. It takes a while to get it, but the correct rotation rate with 2 engines is 2 to 2.5 degrees per second. So from starting your rotation to getting to your target attitude is around 7 to 9 seconds. Dual Flunker, what's the 738 showing on the right side of the yoke? Is that the aircraft time? So this is just a little aid memoir. You can change. Nope. That disconnects the autopilot, uses the mouse to control the aircraft. I'm an expert at that. So in the real aircraft, you can rotate these through 0 to 9 as an aid memoir. I don't use it, but some people use it for the numerical part of the call sign. Or some people set VREF, which I see is completely pointless because it's going to be right on the FMC there. But yeah, it's a little aid memoir. Right, let's try another direct. Let's try direct to UNITA. Let's just see what happens if I do that prior to execution. So that's correct with our white dash line. Let me just execute that as well. I probably won't give myself such a good shot to do. Let's do to Anaki again. Execute. Uh-oh, ZIBO, alarm. This is exactly what happened on the test sector. So, routing direct to waypoints. I'm not going to pause it, I'm just going heading select. So this is a bug, don't worry. This is why we test the mod prior to releasing it publicly. ZIBO, I know you're possibly watching. You saw what happened. I just routed direct to Anaki, executed. It still has Anaki there in white, but it skipped it and routes direct to the next waypoint, Exito, but with no magenta line, and it just ends up just doing loads of circles. So let me just try, if I route direct to Exito, bring it up there, execute, it goes to UNITA. So it seems to be skipping, it's skipping waypoints. It's a bit broken. Let me just try UNITA, and that's going to Oleti. I'm making it worse. So this is why we test it. So I'm not going to keep bringing it up because I'm going to eventually erase all my waypoints. So yes, let's now try and remember what was there prior to Aleti. Let's see if we can fix it. Big problem if there's lots of ATC. They want me to route direct to waypoints, you see. Thankfully there's no busy events today. I might, for the next sector, revert to the previous one, but yeah. I'll just have to request standard routing. Let's just get the flight plan out first. Yeah, this is why this version's not public yet. So charts, that's checked, and that's why I've got that pinned comment as well. It's often when I test the versions of the mod, if there's problems, I just revert to a working one, so you guys always see the best sort of public version available. But unusually today, I thought I'd try a beta version, or one that I knew that was potentially bugged. So you need to, let's try and go back to Ixito, typing it in manually, but this didn't work either in the past. Right, so Ixito, let me just execute that. Yeah, it doesn't like that at all. That is completely broken. There's 290 and it kind of looks like it's leveled off. Putting it there, it's not even bringing up on one left. Damn. Let me try get to Liga, execute. Alright, so I can route. I can't route direct to the next waypoint. I have to sort of choose one in between. Alright. Does that give... Yeah, so obviously the top of climb marker was all off there, but it should be working on top of descent. So there we are. We're now routing in our nav to a waypoint of such. But if you ever have a problem like that, I mean, if this happened in real life, it would be very unlikely, but you can still navigate using heading select. You can still bring the waypoint on the fixed page and just bug your track, put the white line onto the waypoint. That's one way you could navigate it if it all stopped working. We'll go to VNAV now as a level. There we are. Perfect. Just make sure I definitely updated what I must have done, because I only keep one active version. 17E10, so yeah, that was the one that ZIBO did think he had a fix for it, but obviously it has not worked. It made the SID more realistic. SID worked, but unfortunately the lateral navigation is still a bit bugged there. Now, as I mentioned at the start, I think the big issue ZIBO's been having, he's converted the code from XLUA to C++, and I think there's that when you do that, there potentially could be errors in the code, can cause problems. So I can assure you it will be rectified prior to release. There we go. I don't really want to fly this full arrival. I might just pretend we get vectors if we've got no ATC. There we are, it's now got some airports on display there, which is good. Get rid of the engine house SID. Sorry to deafen you all. There we go. Put a little bit of music on. Ah, there's Geneva. Or is it Geneva? Is that pronounced correct? Right on the coastline of Mediterranean. You can see a slight colour difference in the ortho tiles. Ah, that's better. Anakin doesn't want to be approached, no. Andy, that's the great thing about the 737-200 and 727. No newfangled computers go wrong. We can't really call the computer the 737NG new. It's as old as the, you know, any Windows operating system. But no, you can, at least in this aircraft as well, can revert to conventional navigation. Just means that most of the arrivals and SIDs you can no longer fly in Europe. A little bit of cloud forming. Northern Italy can get a lot of thunderstorms this time of year and into August. Milan's well known for it over the Alps as well. Hakan, what a splendid day it is. Say it just like an English sports commentator. Okay. Echo, how much louder is it, the cockpit in real life? Very loud, the NG. A lot of airflow noise. you want to have noise cancelling headsets on. I mean, you don't need to, but you have to talk quite loudly to hear each other otherwise. Fabrizio, yeah, I'm between Como and Veracity. The lake's very nice. It was a wild July, I know. I've been flying to around here, or certainly fly over the Alps periodically. Going to destinations in Italy and Malta quite a bit as well, Greece. And we're often weather dodging, approaching the Alps. It's been more this year than usual as well. I mean, I don't know if there's any weather experts here or any colleagues or any other pilots around that have been flying around Europe at the moment, but we've been talking about it. There's just so much convective weather around, so many thunderstorms every day. The last 2 weeks has cooled down a bit, but I mean, they're everywhere. Alps, Spain, Barcelona, Valencia, areas where you wouldn't usually expect thunderstorms all the time. Usually in the summer they're pretty consistently sunny days every day. Yaroslav, if you could pick any tyre rating to get right now, what would you pick? I'd fly by NG at my operator. I've got good job security, as long as there's not any more lockdowns or anything like that. I'm very, honestly, truthfully, the type rating I have and the job I have right now is perfect. Couldn't be happy if I'm honest, genuinely. Climate change, yeah, I reckon this to me it could be an impact of that. Cool. We'll start setting up bit earlier today. We've still got a little bit of way to go, 140 miles, well, actually no, not that far. So we're going over the Med. We'll be going right over Corsica, as I mentioned. See all the other traffic online. Anti-Gibbs spot. I was inland from Valencia and it was raining with some great thunderstorms back in August 2007. Wow. I was in Alicante in 2012 and there were some ferocious thunderstorms in Madrid area that summer. Caused a lot of disruption and diversions on that day. I remember that one, that was some of the biggest I'd ever seen. I mean, the tops of these CBs were over 50,000 feet. I've never seen anything since there. So there you go. Well, I said we'll start setting up in a bit, but I didn't actually realise we are quite a short sector, 135 miles. I'm pretty sure it'll be runway 05 today in Olbia, Sardinia, but we'll get the weather now. We sort of have basic what's the word I'm looking for? ACAR system to fetch weather and metals and things like that. So let's go here to requests, weather requests. We'll type in the code Lima India Echo Oscar just to confirm what the weather's like. Hello Rohit, hope you're doing well, sir. Hello Lauren, on such a short flight, might you briefly approach what's in the climb? Yes, I mean not in this sector, there's enough distance between the two destinations, but yeah, from my base we do some flights which are less than 30-45 minutes, so we brief during the climb. It's sort of it is allowed. It's actually in the ops manual. It's saying, you know, avoid it where possible, but on certain sectors they recognise the need to have to brief in the climb as well, or certainly for the pilot monitoring to start his duties. Pilot monitoring, when he reaches top of climb, PM has quite a few things to do. He has to basically put all the FIR rings in, fill the boundaries. We have something called the electronic log, so he has to put the all the flight details in from the load sheet, so the passengers, upload the fuel lift, the literage, some other bits to do. It takes about 5 minutes, but during short sectors he has to do that during the climb as well. It'd be quite cool for me to do a stream or a tutorial to kind of explain the PM roles there as well. Lewis, are you flying the MAX at your airline at the moment? Cannot confirm or deny, but yes, we do have MAXes on the way. Perfect. So, let's grab these charts. So, LIEO. I am looking forward to flying the MAX though, really I am. I've done the conversion onto it. And it's now safely flying routinely around the world again, so... You know, awful time for all those involved in those incidents. Boeing's obviously... yeah, it's been awful for them, but they've been held liable and they've paid the fines, haven't they, or something? But yeah, I'm confident the Max is a safe aircraft to fly on now. I wouldn't fly if it wasn't, but I'm looking forward to now. Right, so ILS 05. Grab an airport chart as well, and a taxi chart. So they're actually having construction work here at the moment. I think they're not using the full length of the runway available, but I'm not going to simulate that today. It's actually NOTAM'd, slightly different runway length, work in progress. We're doing some works on one of the thresholds, but I don't know which one, I'm afraid. But one of the great things in real life, the airlines typically have got a performance department. So when there's NOTAMs for runways to be partially closed, so basically they can shut off a certain length of the runway, which obviously affects all the lengths we use. So we have takeoff, run available, accelerate, stop distance available, stopways, clearways. They update the OPT for you, and you have an option on the drop-down menu of the normal runway, or then you have the runway work in progress, and you just cross-check that against the declared distances to make sure they're the same. But you can adjust them in the OPT regardless. Right, what is the weather doing then? Let's have a look there. So 0706, yes, pretty confident then. Runway 05, clear skies, 32 degrees, QNH 1017. It is a cracking day in Sardinia. There we are. So let's start setting up the approach. Let's grab those descent winds. There they are. 250 below 100. Forecast winds are in 310, 200, 100. I hope we don't get many directs. I might just give myself a vector. 269 at 15, 200, 293 at 19, and 100, 313 at 17. QNH, as we know, is 1017. And fixings all put in for a runway. 05, 3 fixings we use is 3 times our height, so 29,000 feet. That's going to be 87. So 3 times 29, roughly where top descent should be. 10 miles, where we want to be, around 3,000 feet. AGL max 200 knots, flap 1 selected, and we'll plan to configure get out flat 15 at 4 miles. These are sort of the latest points. We often configure at 4 miles, but you can configure sooner if required, say due to a tailwind or something. So fixings are in. Let's now step through the arrival and ILS chart. So here is our arrival. Corsi 2 Romeo, MSA 6,200 all around. Some high terrain then on the island. Waypoint distance for RNAV without holding functionality, or transition level is higher. Okay, so if we go that way. So as we were discussing earlier, a lot of arrivals now around the world are RNAV based, and instead of holding, they still do have holds, but instead of putting you in a hold, I'll just put you on a sort of a long routing around the airport. And you can only complete this in its entirety if it was very busy. So it's likely in reality just do a straight line to a 10-mile final here. So we go 464 at the moment though, look, and it goes all the way out to Goklo, Ipkov, all the way out here to around, what's that, 25 miles away from the airport, and then back in. So as I mentioned, it's likely, with a bit of coordination from ATC, that you go Echo Oscar 464 straight in to Echo Oscar 507 onto a final there. And that's what I'm going to plan for. Now, as you well know, there's a nice little trick you can do to allow for this. However, there's something to bear in mind. Look, that it wants you to be at 9-0 at this point, so it might leave you a little bit high for a straight in, but we can't put anything lower than that. So let's try EO 507, put that after EO 464. There we are, we can step there, make sure it looks correct on the picture. It does. We'll delete that restriction temporarily and see where VNAV would ideally like us to be for a straight-in approach. So you can see, look, if we change this to 3,800 or above as well, VNAV for a straight-in ideally at Echo Oscar 464 would like us to be at an altitude of 7.5, okay, for a straight-in. So that 9-0 restriction, it does allow for a straight in. It will leave us about 1,500 feet high. However, I'm not too confident that VNAV's working correctly at the moment based off the test sector. It's slightly off, so I might have to do some manual maths to see where it is. So what I'm going to do is... oh, did I actually execute? Don't tell me I executed that. Oh, I did. Oh, God damn. You shouldn't execute it until you've actually confirmed the routing. That's why you put those restrictions in. So let's just select it again. ILS Yankee 05, Corsi 2 Romeo. Now it should come up with execute now. That's a bug as well. So you should be able to execute it after reselecting it to put the full arrival back in. You can't. Oh, how do I do it? Maybe if I select a different star, execute, and let me just reselect it then. Shouldn't have to do that. But now if I reselect the Corsi 2 Romeo. There we are. ILS 05, execute. There we are. So I put the full routing in, and we can't go below 90 as that's the restriction. So I'll put 90 at Echo Oscar 464, and that will allow for a straight-in approach. It'll only leave us about 1,500 feet high, and if you look through it now, it thinks we're going to be at 90 level the entire time we go around until we get further descent there. Perfect. So that's in, and that if we get the straight in, it'll be easy enough to leave 1,500 feet. What I'll also do is bring the speed back at 464 as well. Echo Oscar 464, 230 knots or below already at 466, 464. That's unusual. 207. Why has it brought the speed back to Alpha Juliet Oscar at 25,000 feet? Yeah, this is so bugged. 207 knots. That's way too slow at 25,000 feet. There's no restriction either. Decel. That's really early. That's a bit broken. We've got to keep a close eye on this then. Oh, we've got some ATC here. Yeah, so, yeah, for some reason it's brought the speed back to 207 knots several miles before, about 40-50 miles before, for 230 knot restriction. That's very wrong. I don't know what's going on there. Ooh, look at the ortho. We're gonna have to keep a very close eye on the descent here. It could be very broken here. 3525.
Squawk 6. Second squawk?
0644.
0644. 3566.
Your control, good evening. Circle 7 Echo Juliet, give level 350 inbound sortie.
Sky Travel 7 Echo Juliet, US, hello, set squawk 0645, and confirm your destination airport.
Squawk 0645, and we are flying into Kent, Lima Echo Mike Hotel.
Lima.
7 Echo Juliet, roger.
Euro Control, good evening, Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo, maintaining flight level 290 to Liblo, and our destination is Olbia, Lima Echo Oscar, just in case he asked.
Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo, Euro Control, hello, identified.
Probably knew that already, but as he asked, so okay, so we're going to have to really keep a close eye on this at the moment, because for some reason it's brought the speed to 207 knots at Alpha Juliet Oscar, so just after top of descent, so it's around 28,000 feet. It was to command 207 knots. That's definitely not correct. It should be commanding 284 knots until 10,000 feet, or restriction, whatever comes first. Anyway, we're going to keep a close eye on this VNAV, see what happens. Let's have a look at the ILS 05 1099. That's active. Course is 053.
Focus 300 to west below, identifying break, Springburg 50335, you're the frequency.
053. And minimums first to chart, so Cat C 330 and 650 metres. 750 with flight director, autopilot, or HUD or DA is not used. Right, we'll call it 750 then. 330 for the minimums. There we are, so minimums are set, barrow minimums for the Cat 1 ILS, 330 feet. So, expecting either vectors then, or the full transition via Obimi. So we'll find our Obimi point here. There's Obimi, then to Senal. That's Senal, we can step down to 4,000 feet after that to CI-05. And then the FAF is the distance of, what's the ident here, Indy Sierra Mike, Echo Oscar 507, so 10 miles, really, 10.2, Echo Oscar 507. We want to be at 3,800, there we are, that's coded as a hard altitude. That's Cenefix as well, we can put that as 4,000 above.
Alpaca 0, I don't have the arrival information. That's going to be on Unicom, break, Bulgarian Delta 237, contact Swiss radar 128.050.
And I have to go around. The missed approach will be proceed on radio 053 from Sierra Mike Echo, which is the Smeralda. I have no idea how to say that. 13.
Okay, 122.8, Bulgarian Charter 237, bye bye.
Bulgarian Charter, very cool. Proceed on radio 053 from Sierra Mike Echo, kind of 5,000, and cross 19 DME at 2,500 above, then right turn to join and followed 21 DME arc based on the VLR. So, Ekrom, so we just basically follow the arc until we get towards Ekrom, which is based off the 098 radio. Anyway. Make sure that's depicted correctly. Yes, intercept 093 uniform Ekrom to hold. Now we're at 5,000. So missed approach is in.
753 here, control west, hello, identity.
Just landing performance to calculate now. So let's put it up here a little bit clearer for you. Runway 05 then, 2,400 metres available. Beyond landing low, glide slope. That's 2,000, so not the longest of runways. Where possible, we'll try and vacate at Charlie because it's going to be right in front of the apron, but we have Foxtrot available if we do miss that there. So let's have a look at that weather again.
This is 753 for Cedar X, exit Kilo Sierra India Delta.
Here is our landing calculator. So runway 05 dry, surface wind was 0706. Temperature was 32 degrees. I think that QNH was 1017, yes. Excellent. Fuel we're arriving with 3.4 tons. We did 2.3 for Lima India Echo Alpha, Adagio, I think it's pronounced. So that's at least 30 minutes. And we're going to be burning 900 kilos prior to landing. Landing weight's going to be 60.7.
Beeline 3 Charlie, my contact Madrid, control 133.750. See you. 133.70, Beeline 3 Charlie, Madrid.
So 60.7, flat 30. Let's see if we can do that. Flat 30 order break 3, yes. Well, maybe a little bit beyond Charlie, but I don't want to go max auto. I'm going to just go flat 30 order break 3. It looks like we're not going to make Charlie. We can just disengage the brakes and vacate at Foxtrot. That's with second detent reverse as well. So order break 3 is set, flat 30. Second detent reverse of brake cooling because we aren't going to do the return sector. And then we're all good. Alright, do you listen to music whilst flying? No. Lateral Games, you said it good. Well, thank you. SVG Tekka, how do you get the analog second attitude indicator in the ZIBO? Forgot what it's called, lol. The standby instruments, so you got the analog standby instruments in Artificial Horizon. You need to make sure you have the latest version and then set that as an option in the ZIBO mod.
Sorry, are you drawing something because your waypoints are a bit weird?
Oh, it's the flying by version of the ZIBO mod. There's Corsica anyway, looking beautiful.
I'm from the Hotel Equator and standing at the primary.
Charlie Cells Delta, Roger. Can you climb to 290, sorry, climb to 310, descend 290. I need you on an odd flight level.
I tell you, probably you can make Charlie with reverse thrust. Well, order brake. If you're using order brake on a dry runway and reverse thrust, your stopping distance is exactly the same.
Brake, roll jet 001, contact bus holds 131.1. Bye-bye. 31.1, roll jet 001.
So out hold, it should start bringing the speed back.
Climb flight level 310.
It's not doing the movement. Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo, request descent.
Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo, descent flight level 250.
Descent flight level 250, Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo. So setting 250, as soon as I lower the altitude, it should bring up my VNAV profile straight away, but it's not appeared, so that's another bug we've discovered. So I'm just going to go level change for now. We've lost VNAV. As soon as you set a lower altitude, the VNAV path profile appears to show how high or low we are. So we are broken, yeah, we've got no VNAV information at the moment. That's broken. We have a lot of problems with this version. Let's just do 300 knots. Might have to go old school, fly it 3 times table. Yeah, so I think passing top of descent, it's not happy. Yeah, if I'd set it, I think prior to top of descent, it wouldn't have been bugged, but you should be able to do it at any point. There's the decel point. Oh, the decel point just jumped straight ahead now. So yeah, look, 206. It's Let's if I push VNAV. VNAV out holds. That's it's so broke. It's so broke, guys. Level change. We're gonna have to go old school, I think. LNAV at least is working at the moment, but VNAV is it's been changed. Used to work flawlessly, VNAV. Now, 4,000 feet per minute, 1 to go, that's no good, vertical speed.
1,000 to go.
Check.
Alpha 1 Lima Bravo monitor, Unicom 122.8, your
Unicom 122.8, Alpaca 1 Lima Bravo, bye.
And the other station, your...
Well, that's probably a good thing. I couldn't do with no ATC today. Right, we'll carry on descent ourselves. Let's go level change. What I'm going to do is go straight down to 90, because you remember that was my coded restriction here. Let's do some bug fixing. See if we can have rectify what's going on here. Level change 90. Let's increase that speed to 280 knots. Right. So yeah, we've got no VNAV and dodgy LNAV. It thinks it's still in the cruise, look. It's still got cruise engaged, that's why I've got no VNAV. Let me just try and push out into then. Nope, it's stuck in cruise, that's why I've got no VNAV information. Even though we've just left our 290 level. That is weird. So what I'm going to try and do is trick it, okay? Let's try putting 230 in. Execute. And what I'm going to do is level off at 230 briefly. I'm going to trick it thinking it's... that's the new cruise segment.
1,000 to go.
There we are, bug fixing. Hello, Mr. Richard Dash. Do you always go straight to level change or start descent VS so you don't throw the crew into cabin ceiling? Or VNAV's fine. VNAV's fine. If you're level in the cruise and you get your descent when ready, just punch in VNAV and it will do a nice gradual smooth descent. If you feel like you're being lifted up, it's usually what happens if we've been held high. And then we get our descent, we click level change and wind the speed up, and then the aircraft pitches quite, not abruptly, but enough for you to go, ooh, it's a bit floaty. But yeah, that's probably what you're feeling, buddy. Hope you're doing well anyway. Right, VNAV, that is now working. We now have out hold. Out hold would suggest we've passed our top of descent point, because it should be in VNAV path. That happens if I select a lower level and select out into vent. It's broke, guys. It is broken. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, anyway. 90 it is. Level change. That's 300, so we're going to get higher profile. Hi Lucky Bill, it was a pleasure to control everyone, you guys. Massive traffic on radar, really enjoyed an amazing evening. Thank you so much for providing ATC, whichever sector you did there, Lucky Beagle. Alright, where's that going to put us? Where's my little 90 banana? That's going to... We're very, very, very high at the moment. Let's get the speed break out 300 knots.
50,
there's no
40, 30, 20, 10.
Noah Chiricho, thank you very much for your $10 donation.
Hey Cap, how many different items on the 737 are malleable? Is there a book with all of them? Do you have some memorized? Do you have to write up MX issues? Or does MX take care of that?
MX, I guess, referring to maintenance. Great question there, Noah. Thank you very much for the $10 donation. It's very generous of you yet again. Thank you. No, I know some of the MEL items, so I know if certain things go inoperative, what the restrictions are, for example, APAC, or I've had a few this week. I had the auto speed brake function inoperative, which has some limitations, and what else did I have? I had, Command B inoperative, so things like that, no longer Cat 3 capable. So the MEL you're talking about is the book. It is a manual, minimum equipment list it stands for, and in this manual it explains what happens if a certain item on the aircraft is inoperative. Now if it's not in the MEL, probably means you need it, so you won't find, for example, an engine in the MEL, but certain elements, systems such, for example, one of the packs is inoperative, or one of the fuel pumps is inoperative, or the autopilot's inoperative, or the autothrottle's inoperative. It provides guidance to both the pilots and engineers. Okay, and these actions must be performed prior to dispatch. So what we have is a manual called the tech log, which lives on the aircraft. If a fault is found with the aircraft, it is entered in by whoever finds it, be it the pilot, the captain, the commander who's responsible, or an engineer. Once it's written into the tech log, the aircraft is technically AOG. It can't go anywhere until one of two things has happened. It could either has to be fixed and rectified and released, or it could be transferred over to something called the HIL, which stands for the holdover item list. And in the HIL, you enter the fault, and it tells you where in the MEL you can find the instructions on how to operate with this item inoperative. So you follow the guidance there and go from there. But I hope that answers your question. Great question, and there should be some guidance perhaps online which might help you there. Yaroslav, mind the speed. Yeah, we're okay. 300 knots, 15,000. Going to go down to 90. We're going to try for a straight in here. We're on Unicom, so it could be quite interesting. So imagine ATC. I can imagine if it was very quiet, they'd just tell you to go from 464 direct to 507. But we know this aircraft, this version in beta, is very broken at the moment. So we'll try and put that shortcut in as we discussed earlier to 507 after EO646 execute. Nice. Okay, it's worked. Okay, it's accepted that. I'm also going to delete that 90 restriction, execute, and we're a little bit high here. All right, so we don't have VNAV to help us. We should be at 9,000 feet. We're at 13,000 feet. Let's see if we can manage a straight in. So I'm going to bring the speed brake out, keep it at 300 knots for now. And then we'll start bringing the speed back as well. Now this is a little bit too draggy. I wouldn't get that much drag and that rate of descent even with speed brake at 300 knots, maybe around 3,500. It's sort of going back to that now, to be fair. I think it was just accelerating. Yeah, that's better. That's more realistic. So we can start bringing the speed back to 250. So this could be interesting because I think we've got some people doing the full arrival. Look, we're just going to barge straight in on There's no ATC whatsoever. So go 250, we're approaching 10,000 feet. Shall we brace ourselves? We should be okay, Hakan. And we'll do the post-cruise checks. So we're approaching flight level 100 now, so 109.90. Imagine we've been cleared down to, what's the transition? Sorry, the platform altitude again here. Let's say it's 3,800. Let's go down there. So 3,800 feet set QNH 1017. What's the transition level here? 70. Yeah, that's so broken. It shouldn't be amber. With that set there, it should be green. I think it's doing that because it still thinks we're in cruise. That's the bug here, is that it's locked in cruise. It is physically, you can't get it out of cruise at the moment. And the reason is because we were late passing it, but that used to work perfectly in the ZIBO mod. It was not an issue. What happens if I just put in 90 again? Let's execute that. Guys, just disconnecting from the network, just because I'm sort of doing a shortened approach here. There's no ATC as well. And then we'll find a stand. Because I'm cutting display here. Right, anyway, it's now gone to 1017, so it should be fine. It shouldn't cause it should have been green straight away. Passing 8,500, 3,800, standby altimeter is set. Okay, so we're going to be looking good now. We'll probably be a little bit high by the time we got on the localizer, but we'll keep the bring the speed back now. Actually, we're in 10 miles. Keep the speed brake out as well. Nictus, no approach controller. No, we did have it earlier though. Elevation's a little bit higher, but we'll try and we're going to go flap 1 now. Let's go 220. We'll have to try and recover the glide slope from above. Flap 5. Might be a bit tight, this one. Got a tailwind as well. Alright, I'm going to go straight to 180, flap 10. 190 VRF5 plus 10 knots. It's going to be 176. As soon as we blow 210, we're going to select flap 10. Flap 10. And this is the above glide slope recovery procedure, but you can only set a lower altitude once you're established on the localizer. So approach checklist, so we have the idents, which is India Sierra Mike, 1099, 1099, fixed rings are in, is India Sierra Mike, standby, instruments are set, course is 053, approach check's complete. How old are you? Very early 30s. Might be a little bit high here, guys. This could be interesting. This is exactly what happened on the test sector. I can go get down flat 15 as well, something will help. Just drop the gear. Turn the music off, it's going to get very exciting. So we're heading 053, now we'll arm Vorlock. So LNAV's behaved itself, those updates. Localizer alive. Localizer capture, we're heading 053 set. Now localizer established, we can set elevation plus 1,000 feet. So we can set 1,100 feet on the MCP. And we must have glide slope capture by 4 miles. If we don't have glide slope capture by 4 miles, we must go around. So you've seen, guys, if you'd like to, if you are interested in following a tutorial, let me find the link for that. We can't arm approach until we're within 1 dot of the glide slope as well. So if you want to see a bit more of a technical explanation or the approved procedure, I'll send a link to you now in chat. You can probably hear it playing on my laptop at the moment. And you can actually watch that tutorial on how to fly the approach in full. So there's the link. There we are. Better actually look at what I'm doing here. So we've got until 4 miles. If we don't have glide slope capture by 4 miles, I must go around. There's glide slope alive, tight, but couldn't really push it much more. Drink for poured tea and milk is okay. You're loving your milk and splashes of milk. 6.5 DME. Go flat 15. 200 knots maximum flat placard speed for flat 15. Where's 1 dot? Arm approach. Control wheel steering pitch. That is a bug. It should not be doing that. That's fine. I'll just pitch down a bit. No, that's a bug as well. It should disconnect the autopilot. It's a bit broken. Glide slope capture. Oh dear. Match the speed. Missed approach altitude 5,000 feet. With 5 miles, we had a mile left before we'd have to go around. Landing checklist, the flaps going up there. So, oops. Did I not do those checks already? Start switch is continuous. I forgot to do the post-cruise checks. Start switch continuous. Recall check. Speed brake armed. Green lights. Landing gear. Down 3 green. Auto brake is set to 3, holding on flaps. Which we can set it a little bit close to the ground. Where's my white bar? Top of the white bar there on the PFD. That is always indicative of 1,000 feet AGL. The top of the white bar on the altimeter. I bet some people didn't know that in chat. Let's select flat 30. And that is what I did there. It was completely acceptable. Everything was in limits. That is an approved technique. I just posted the link. We do that on the line if we had been held high by ATC. I've had to do it once going into Lisbon a few years ago. Right, flaps. We have 30 green light. Lights are on. Clear to land. Check is complete. Let's see what we could do then today. So thrusters off there. So yeah, the mods, this version as we mentioned is in closed beta. That's why I've got the pinned comment there and the video description there. I knew would get bugs as well. This version isn't public. Overall, when it's finished, the final product will be shiny and new like all the previous versions. Right, top of the amber bar represents 500 AGL. We're fully stable, so we'll continue.
300.
I don't know what the glide path angle is here. We'll get a little bit steeper. Checked. It's lovely scenery from ORBX. I'm going to say thank you very much for providing me the Olbia scenery. Continue. A little bit lower glide slope. Now keep it descending now. Glide slope and pappies are lined very nicely. Keep it descending now.
50, 40, 30,
check.
20,
close.
10.
Hold the attitude. Oh, nice. Speed brakes up. Generally lower than those. Reverses. Second E10 because we are going to be overturned. So yeah, I'm going to miss that exit. It's a bit too soon. 100 knots. Manual braking so I can actually roll to the end.
80 knots.
Checked. So brakes are released. It's just coasting now with the reverses. Keeps the temperatures nice and low. go to idle. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first time Olbia on Sardinia. Lovely. So I checked a little bit higher there. You know how I always say check at 20 feet? Because that rate of descent, I think there's a slightly steeper approach there. Might be wrong on that. Just bring the point at which you check up a little bit. It just takes experience. It's the same in the real aircraft, really. There's not much difference between the sort of landing technique you use in the ZIBO mod and you do in the real 737. I brought the check up to about 30 feet because the rate of descent was slightly higher. Let's actually see what it is. Yeah, look, it is 3.5 degrees. I missed that on the briefing. So even though it's 0.5 degrees steeper than it would be for a normal approach, doesn't sound like much. It makes a big difference. Our required rate of descent is around 200 feet more, 150 to 200 feet more. That means when you come over the threshold, you're coming down much quicker than you usually would. So checking at 20 feet, doing sort of 900 feet per minute, it won't work. You'll thump it down on the runway. So just bring that check up by about 10 feet or so. And it will work quite nicely. You know, we say, and it says in the Boeing manual, the landing technique is what we use at my operator. Every airline has different terminology. Check, close, hold. Check at 20 feet is what it says. Smoothly close the thrust, hold the attitude. If you're very light or doing normal IS, 20 feet works quite nicely. Yeah, would have been game over. Well, not game over, but big passengers would have gone way, and we would have been on YouTube in an hour of landing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little sector. Tell me what you'd like to see on the way back. Do you want me to continue with this version, or do you want me to revert to the previous version of the ZIBO mod, which is working a little bit more accurately? It's completely up to you. I probably want this one because it's potentially a little bit more entertaining, but yeah, it's obviously a lot of issues with this version at the moment, as we know about. Make a right turn here. Over to steady. Get the APU started as well. Squawk 2000. It's quite hard to do. You do this when pulling onto stand, though, to be fair. Let's make a right turn. It's very hard to taxi and do this. There we go. API started. Sort of brakes off. Flight directors can come off. To 0, not 0, 100. Let's go park in front of a terminal. A fuel truck then. We'll have our own fuel truck. We have a contract with Shell at Alpaca Airways. As you could have guessed. Continue with Concorde. I'm not going to jump straight into the aircraft without practicing. APU's nearly ready. Probes off. Oh, looking good up there. Let's go for stand number... Let's take this one. 103. Anti-ice. Down engine. Oh, I forgot to retract the flaps. Yeah, are you a real pilot? Carry on. Yeah, as you were. Oh, what a rubbish turn onto stand. And also another thing as well, like with the real aircraft, if you stop single engine, like I have now, it's very hard to get moving again. If it's upslope, you might actually have to stop and restart the engine. But that was a rubbish taxi onto stand. Oh, look, they've got FOD bits. Very cool. Keep this one, real pilot. We'll see. Oh, it was going to be a poll, isn't it? But I don't want to have time to do it because obviously during the break I need to get everything set up for the next sector. Now, from what I understand, ORBX, there's been a slight issue with the SAM, so the air bridges I don't think are connecting, and there's no what's the word? Marshaller to guide you on stand, which I would usually be. Let's go to stop 1 for now, anyway. Turn the music up a little bit. Perfect. Set the parking brake. So AP's on the bus, 2 blues, 1 red, engines are dead. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Olbia. So transit shutdown checklist, isolation valve open, and voice recorder, we turn that on because they want to hear what we say on our briefings in case there's an instance. That will be open as well. Wait for the engines to get to 20% N2. There we are, 20% N2, anti-collision light can come off, and AP bleed on, get some nice cool air into the cabin. And there we are, we have made it down in one piece. Ah, the air bridge is working. Ah, superb, very, very good. Well, we'll still do the replay anyway. Might open the door or something, but the air bridges are working. Superb there. Turn off the weather radar, Captain, thank you. Just testing. Very good. We'll log on VATSIM as well. I must apologise for logging off just to get that shortcut straight in there. Antonio, maybe ZIBO's already an E11 or E12. I'll have a quick look. Actually, might have done. He got E10 very quickly ready. I quote Dave. Yeah, let's see what you guys are saying. Might be hot in Olbia today, anyways. Yep, return login. One of the FlyJ SimBirds. Oh, Andy, I don't have them installed at the moment. I now get in the habit of uninstalling what I've not used, because that way when I go to fly it, I already have the most up-to-date version. That's a habit I've got there. I do have the actually I do have the 200 in, but not the 7.2. I have the A310 still installed. I generally do check there. Will I live my life one butter at a time? Captain Dominic Toretto, huh? What's that referencing? Not sure. Cool. What did you guys say generally, though? Base Lake, outstanding captain, love the bugs. Yep, stop drilling the terminal. I'll try my best to turn the weather radar off next time there. Yep, doing another sector. We'll do the return sector to Milan. Alright then. Antonio, also big help for ZIBO to bug fixing. Some issues came up. Oh, I've been providing feedback to ZIBO for 3 years on fixing bugs and making sure it's as realistic as possible. I think we'll stick with this one because it's already open. What's the worst that can happen? We'll just tell ATC we need vectors if there is ATC. But anyway, we'll do the replay. I'll have a 5-10 minute break just to get it set up for the next sector. And we'll head on our way back to Milan. Yes, this is the ORBX scenery. If you are from Sardinia, you'll probably be interested in getting it there. But it is of the usual high quality ORBX scenery as well. You get the local buildings included in the port, I think, as well. I have Ortho 4 XP for this part of the island as well. But you got 0523, what was that, 2400 metres of runway? ILS, definitely on 05, don't know about the other one as well. But yes, very, very nice. I think it's available for Microsoft Flight Simulator as well. So, cool, right, anyway, that's the transit shutdown checklist complete. We'll cue now the funky replay music. There we go. Superb. Right, yeah, landing was quite nice. The approach was good as well. I missed the fact it was 3.5 degrees. Ignore the door being open. I have no control over that whatsoever. It's the fact the air bridge is open. Let's turn that music down slightly. We'll get rid of Fly Live as well for now. It looks ridiculous in the door open. So you can see, look, checking that little bit higher. There you go. Oh, yeah, very nice. Please don't crash on me. Did a last time I did a replay, it crashed. When Manchester we recently did that. Big speed brake, yep. So yeah, passengers jumping out already. Yeah, that's mega. Right. Touchdown point, payment point as well. Let's do a tower view as well. Yes, even the tower, I guess the incredible view of the galley in the cabin. Sounds gone. It was a hot day at Olbia, right? Extra airflow, absolutely. Guys, I'm going to put you in a wing view so you can enjoy that approach. You don't have to see the door open as well. As soon as the aircraft is vacated, I'll throw you to a Be Right Back screen and then get everything set up for the next sector. Flight plans filed on VATSIM. Fly Live updated. It does take about 5 minutes, and I'll go for a quick break as well. I'll aim to be back in less than 10 minutes, so around 35 minutes past as well. So enjoy the approach of landing as ever. If you're enjoying the stream so far, I do ask if you thumbs up the video and like. This has helped the channel out a lot, and I'll see you all in approximately 10 minutes. Cheers, guys. Well, thanks a lot, guys, for that a little intermission. All back there, all set up for the next sector. You might have noticed we have a beautiful sunset. Really, really nice to be able to depart in that. We'll hopefully try and catch up with the sun. If it just sets and you take off, you can see it rise again, which is pretty cool here. You might notice I have nipped offline as well. The reason is, if I just connect here for a second, it is absolute carnage here. I mean, just to get out of here, there's no ATC. I think I'll just depart offline, just show that there's aircraft on the stands. When I spawned on my stand, 2 other aircraft appeared there. It's just aircraft to taxiways and stuff. I think it's just a scenery issue there. There's no ATC, guys, so I'm just going to keep the show on the road, just crack on, go from there. I might join back on in line. Once we get to top of climb, we might get some ATC later on in Malpensa. So here we are on stand on the APU still running. Now sometimes this happens, we use air bridges at my operator. Sometimes the conditioned air, well in most cases, it's not even working, so if the temperature is hot as it is out here, we'd actually leave the APU running with the APU bleed on to provide nice conditioned air into the cabin. So I'd imagine that's the case. Otherwise, since I left it, guys, I've not touched anything. It's exactly as it was. So I'll imagine, for whatever reason, Jim doesn't want to fly the return sector, as ever. So in this case, what I would have done is filled in the tech log. Imagine I'm flying back, I was PM on the first sector. First thing I do, I put the auto brake to RTO, reset the fuel flow. I pop the flight directors on, master's my side. Get the ATIS, the weather, which we know is already, it's pretty much the same as it was when we came in. BETA's not updated or updated the weather in active sky. I then go straight to my EFIS panel here. I set the MFRA, which will set to 1080, and I would have already loaded route 2 if I was PM on the first sector, meaning I don't need to enter the flight plan, but that is a function with the ZIBO mod at the moment, so I have to put the routing in for the second sector. So we can close that first flight plan. It's sector number 2. So we are forecasting some thunderstorms in Milan Malpensa. They have a tempo for thunderstorms throughout now all the way till midnight. So if I was flying this sector in reality, depending on the severity of it, looking at the SIG weather charts, which I don't have access to at the moment, I'd have a look and see if the alternates were clear. I'd probably just take 30 minutes for fuel, but if all the alternates are showing thunderstorms, I'd probably shove on 2 tons, a good hour's extra worth of fuel, and certainly an alternate where I am confident I can get to without any disruption as well. So I'm happy just to take the 30 minutes extra, as usual, I always take. So that would be 5-2. 6264, that's what I'd be ordering exactly today if I was flying this flight anyway. So let's go here to fuel. Yes, I forgot, so we never checked this. You get an approach rating, excellent landing rating. Is it going to give me that? You just can't teach it, guys. It's just some stuff you cannot teach. Yes. Fuel 5-2. Oh no, not 5-2, 6-2 we said. Oh, no, 6-4. Let me get it right, 6-4. Don't want me ordering your fuel. 6-4, we'll take the same amount of passengers, 169 on the way back to keep it nice and simple. 08 to fuel, 0 fuel weight 57.4. Just need to call for the fuel truck, which is here.
Ground flight deck hose is connected and starting refueling.
Excellent. We'll have opened this door as well. I'll turn off the background music as well now, and we'll start the boarding for the next sector. So terminate the old flight. And we're starting the next one there. Excellent! So, carrying on here. 2 tons air conditioning, ground connect would be a nice add-on for the ZIBO mod, save me from running APU when it's 40 degrees at Dallas-Fort Worth. Absolutely. Lauren, we use air bridge as my operator. Such a strange thing to hear. America, it's very rare not to have a jetway used to walk aboard CRJs and turboprops, but rare to anymore. Yeah, in Europe, a lot of airlines... you know, they have either stairs built on the aircraft, or it's just convenient because you can obviously disembark using at the rear of the aircraft as well. So airlines which have quick turnarounds, they don't like having to use air bridges because with rear steps and boarding around the airplane, they can deboard and board twice as fast. So that's why they use them. But some airports are mandatory. For example, like Barcelona, El Prat, the main international airport, it's mandatory to use air bridges. Cool, right, I think we got up to here, reset the clock, there we are. So fuel's on its way, here's our routing then, so init ref, index, we start on the ident page, and we're routing from Lima, India, Echo Oscar. Don't need to... Oh yeah, it's habit, look. Muscle memory, that is. Trying to put the INS GPS positions in, so I need to do it because it's already aligned. We're going to back to Milan Malpensa, Lima India Mike Charlie. Call sign for the return is Alpaca 2 X-ray Papa. Departure, runway 05. I've not touched the ZIBO mod from the last sector as well, so we'll probably have the same issues we had on the way back. Could be exciting to deal with. Okiva 7 Kilo. And from Okiva, Upper Zulu 800 to Okbon. Love it, never heard of that one. We're going there though. Upper November 851 to Tortu. And from Tortu, Mike 198 to Anaki. From Anaki, Papa 860 to Devox. From Devox, it's Devox to Echo. So arrivals. I think it'll be 35 left to land as well. I think that's the preferred landing runway there. The arrival, a Devox to Echo. In the transition, not sure. Let's stick it in, see what happens. Activate, execute. Plan. Step through this here. So looking good. Yes, and another snaky arrival all the way in. Hopefully we'll get a direct shortcut as well, so we'll have to think about modifying the routing on the way in there.
Flight deck fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
So the seatbelt sign would have been off at that stage. We can now turn it on with the fueling complete. Cool, that's all done. Performance then. 0 fuel weight 57.3. Our alternate for a return sector is Milan Bergamo. And the fuel would be 2 tons to get there, minimum. Cost index, the usual Alpaca Airways 30. We're cruising at flyable 300 on the way back, 1,000 feet higher than on the way here. Top of climb wind is 275 at 11, nice and calm. Top of climb ISO 7, executed. Average wind 270 at 23. So revert to map. Route data 270 23. Pop that in at Okbon. That's executed. Performance data, I don't have any. Let's do full 24k. It's a bit of a shorter runway, that should be fine for us. Takeoff flap 5, CG 19.8, trim 5.75. Gonna sneeze, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. I'm okay. Oh, it's coming though. V speed 35, 36, 45. 145 we can now set on the... Oops, I've just accidentally reset my views again. Let's see if I can do it right this time. 145 knots. Sell the MCP for V2. Okay, onto the overhead panel then. So not much to do on a transit setup because it's already configured for flight. You put the centre tank fuel pumps on. You don't need to do the cross-feed valve check, that's only on the first sector. It's mostly the seatbelt signs are on, and updating your level here, 300 on your elevation at your destination, so 750 for Milan Malpensa, otherwise not much else you need to do. It's already configured. Let's have a look at our taxi and departure then. So I had this all set up prior to coming back. So we're in front of the main terminal. Standard 103, pushback to face south west out via Papa. Nice and simple from out via Mike onto taxiway. No, it's Papa. So the taxi chart does say Papa, but the apron chart, nothing. Just Mike. Okay. Onto the Mike taxiway then, and we'll go full length via Echo for runway 05. And then our SID is the Okiva 7 Kilo. Okiva 7 Kilo, 6,200 FMSA. It's also an RNAV SID. Climb straight ahead on this departure until Echo Oscar 603. Echo Oscar 603, 230 knots maximum, 3,500 feet above, which checks. 7 miles, 323. Out above 5,000, that checks. 620 out above 80. So again, as I mentioned at the start here, these miles 14.7 and 7 in the real aircraft, they're bang on. There's a discrepancy here at the moment, and I think that's to do with how ZIBO's altered the curves and the display of the magenta line, the routing with some of these points here. And then we eventually go to Tuklu, Okiva, and that's the end of our start 85 robot. So that's all looking good. Happy with how that's coded. MCP set, water brake to RTO, that would be off as well. Reset fuel flow for the next sector. You know, I've already done it, just a habit of mine. And might as well keep the ILS tuned with the courses. Excellent, AP's already running, so all we do now is request clearance, wait for body completes, sign the paperwork, and we'd be on our way. About 15 minutes later than I'd planned to be at this stage, so we'll push back like this.
Welcome.
Oh, welcome.
Ground to Cockpit.
Hello, Trung.
Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
Ah, it's the stowaway. He came back, old Leonardo. And let's request... no, where's better pushback?
Ground to Cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Perfect. Nevada Rocks, would you show the sound settings in the tablet which give the most realistic sound immersion? Thank you. Ooh, let's have a look, Nevada Rocks. I haven't touched these for probably years. It's... A lot of people complain about the ZIBO mod sounds. I quite like them, and even the engine sounds are not quite right, but the immersion's great. I really like it. Well, there's audio features. It's all on 3 for passenger volume, 5 and 0 for the rest. Yeah, the trim wheel... Actually, I'll turn that up, because I think... No, it's not working anyway. I used to have it turned off because it used to trim quite unrealistically, but I think that's all been fixed now. Listen to me, we're offline now. Yes, there's no ATC. There were aircraft on my stand. There were 2 aircraft on my stand prior to me checking, and then when I came back, there was just one.
All doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Different people had different scenery, so there's aircraft parked on the taxiway, and it's just going to be, without ATC coordinating it, it'll just be a bit of a mess. I'll jump back online later. Lauren, I did very little short flying in Europe, talking to Andy. You did Brussels round trip to LIMC, where's that? Not sure. And the RJ85 jetway on both ends last time. It was off a CR7 at Atlanta from somewhere. I think you're talking about real life though. Ah, you set mute trim wheel in the audio features, that's why it's silent. In the audio features menu. Honestly, I've not looked in there for ages.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Well, you can hear it now. Right, imagine we've got push and start. All these colours are nice, very nice. Packs off, fan ignition light on. Transponder should be out off already. And parking brake released. Has he shut the door, opened it? That's the big question. Yeah, he closed it this time. Perfect. Releasing parking brake. Let's go. Air bridge disconnected. On our way.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Jack, what field of view settings have you got? I use 105 in X-Plane 11. Excellent. So hopefully, you see how the sun's just setting, we'll have the phenomenon of the sun rising again as we depart. We'll watch that. It's really cool. And then starting engine number 2. N2. Oil pressure, N1. Hello Trung, hello sir, from Vietnam, nice to see you, nice to see you too. Good evening, good morning in Vietnam probably? Yes, it'll be very late or very early wherever you are, sir. In Vietnam. Alright, so count 1, 3, 2, 2, 4, 6, 3, 2, stems. Starting engine number 1. Bit of a wiggly one.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brake is set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Hope that door's closed. Yeah, it should be Lewis. What you see it is. Uh-oh, Laura's been timed out. No idea why. I can see the message.
Go is disconnected and bypass previously removed and signal authorized. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Ciao. Hashtag free Lauren. My Nightbot is extremely strict. There are some words there that, because basically I copy and pasted, there's the bypass pin, copy and pasted a list of prohibited words, or let's say foul words on a website, but there was nothing foul there. Right, anyway, there's no ATC, so let's go all the way up to flight level 300. There's no stop level, I don't think. So that is set. Flight controls. Full forwards, full back, left and right. Here comes the rudders. Full right and full left. We'd hold the tiller in the centre position so it didn't move. Recall, blank the lower DU, and then we'd read the before taxi checklist, which I imagine is done. And we'd then request taxi, something like Alpaca 2 X-ray Papa, taxi, straight ahead left at Papa Gate, onto whatever that taxi is. I thought it was Mike, it's actually Foxtrot, hold point Echo for runway 05. There we go. Bugger released, config, and we're on our way. XVLP, the dust colours look awesome. Oh look, it's webcamschat.com. Girls and boys video chat. Bye bye. My goodness me. Yes. I don't know if you guys only noticed, but sometimes if you leave comments on videos on YouTube, there's a thing that's been going around for the last year or so. It's like a bot which creates basically tens or even hundreds of thousands of accounts on YouTube, and then they make it look like they're talking to each other. So they'll comment on one of my videos where on someone else's comment and go, "Oh hi, does anyone know how to unlock my Instagram account?" And then someone else replies. It looks like a genuine conversation, and the reply is, "Oh yes, go on some illicit website," but without putting the link. And then the bot replies, "Oh, thank you very much, I'll try that link." And it looks like a genuine conversation. It nearly caught someone out the other day because someone commented and they replied on a comment saying, "Oh, I'm sorry to have your problems. Yeah, that's the website." And I was like, "No, it's a bot, ignore it." But yeah, they're rife. I don't know why YouTube can't do enough to stop it, because you know it's a rife. Like every other day, I get these flipping comments on these videos. So obviously, I get notified when anyone comments on a video. It looks like Menorca, yeah, sort of. The layout's similar with the runway and the taxiway as it is. It's a beautiful part of the world here. Anyway, we're on the parallel taxiway now, so we can complete the before takeoff checklist. So config, we checked flaps. We have 5.5 green light, stamp trim set for departures, 5.75 units set. Takeoff briefing. So look at the air conditioning panel. Pax auto bleeds on. The V speeds are set for departure. 35, 36, 45 set, and we're flying the Okiva 7 kilo straight ahead till we get to Foxtrot Oscar, or the Echo Oscar, wasn't it? Sorry, Echo Oscar 603, and then left turn to tuck loose, going straight up to our cruise level, flight level 300, and we're going to fly NADP2 here. Looks at the full airfield brief. Any problems will climb straight ahead to MSA. Again, there's probably an engine out SID that would be used in this case here. Well, no, over the sea, so probably go straight ahead there. That's it. Check's complete. Actually, the cabin is secure and ready for departure. Full length here, so I don't have any accurate performance data. Just in time. Welcome, Youssef. We'll be taking off in less than 2 minutes. Phaser departed before you never arrived. X-plane FPS dropped off like to 0 FPS. Oh, that's pretty unusable. 0. The cryptocurrency scam was another one. Oh, I know, Andy. They're all over the place. But yes, you know, it's quite obvious when they're bots. Right. Well, imagine we've got our takeoff clearance from Olbia Tower. So clear takeoff, runway 05. 10 knots for the turn there, so weather radar's on. All the lights on. Strobos? I tried to say strobes and logo at the same time again. We'll go with strobo. Oh dear. LNAV, auto throttle, transponder to TARA. There we are. So MCP is set. Transponder TARA. Strobe lights are on. Landing lights are on. We cleared takeoff. Weather radar on as well. Let's go back to Milan Malpensa. We'll do a rolling takeoff. So Toga's in chat. So as we're pointing in the right direction, we'll advance the thrust levers to 40%, and we'll go. Hello Taylor 31425. Hope you're doing well. Timing. There's 40%. Stabilize. Push Toga. Set takeoff thrust. Our takeoff thrust sets. Indications normal.
80 knots.
Checked. Before anyone says there's a bug, look, the centre line lights are not on the centre of the runway. That's completely normal. They're offset, so it's a bump. Not every airport, though.
V1, rotate.
There we go. 24k full worked out nicely.
Positive brake.
Gears coming up. And trim. You can hear me trimming now, actually. That's unusual.
400.
LNAV. Ah, hopefully we'll catch up with that setting sun. It's already set by the looks of it.
1,000.
So 1,000 feet will bug up. Slightly lower nose, N1 at 1,500 feet. Flaps one. And flaps up. So follow the flight directives and then trim just to keep the control column forces neutralised. There we go. That feels good. So command A. Flaps are up, no lights. VNAV set standard. Passing 3-4 for flight level 300. And we can now complete the after takeoff checklist. So gears off, auto brakes off, air conditioning and pressurization, diffs 1.9. Climbing auto, bleeds are on. So air conditioning pressurization set. Lastly, altimeters, we verify standard is set, passing 4-5, flight level 300. That's the after takeoff checklist complete. Beautiful, lovely departure. Strobos are my favourite part of light shows. Probably correct in Italian. And that is stereotypical. Unfortunately this chart doesn't depict the aircraft icon, but we're approaching now Echo Oscar 603. She hasn't drawn a turn for this, it's just a nice 90-degree segment. Here she goes. And there you go, sun's going to rise again. So you can see, look, the sun is just above the horizon, but as we climb you'll see it come back up again, and obviously as we level off it'll set again. But we'd be sort of flying towards the sun. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at the sun reflection. X-Plane's not bad. I obviously know, we know the graphics in Microsoft Flight Simulator are superior, but it ain't bad. That looks very good. Leo, where can we get the livery you're currently using? I guarantee you'll get at least 2 people in chat answer that question, and you'll have the link very shortly. Thanks for subscribing, JS. Welcome. Why is the wing so shiny? Well, if the sun reflects on like that, it's what it would look like as well. Certainly, I've been a passenger enough to see the sun reflect like that. Oh, look at that. That's superb. There you go, look, it's nearly above the horizon, just like it would be in reality. There we are, passing 100 for flight level 300. Let's do the post-cruise checks. A little bit wobbly again, yeah. Still a little bit of work needed before this one gets released publicly. Right, so fuel, we have 4 pumps on, and the wings are balanced. We have, what's that, 5-8 on board. Lights coming off. Logo can come off as well. Verify the APU is off. Pressurization 4.0 psi climbing. And set. And leave passengers in. Recool. And we then monitor 1215. And log into CPDLC. Check is complete. MGS1, are you now not in VATSIM? No, but I will log in very shortly. I'll just see if there's anyone around where I am though. Flight plans all filed. There was just too much going on. There was no ATC. Because of the differences in scenery, everyone was sort of in different positions as well. I'm completely on my own, so I will log back on now. And there's no ATC in this sector either, so it shouldn't cause any disruption. So, you know, the reason I do that, I know it's sort of, shouldn't log off and log on en route as well, but just obviously because I'm streaming it, a lot of people join, and I have no problem with that. But at airports which are uncontrolled, as you saw when I jumped online there were people on my stand, because people have different scenery, they're parked everywhere. With no coordination, it's going to be a bit of a mess, so it's just easier to log off and just get departed. And there's no ATC in this sector, so I've logged back on the network now. You can see there's some traffic behind. But yeah, hopefully we'll, as we get a little bit further north, we'll get some more ATC. Milan Malpensa at the moment, there's no ATC, but they did very kindly come online for arrival, so it might not be the case anyway. But it'll be again a good stress test for ZIBO. Ah, look at that. Absolutely stunning. This whole, why did you still stream X-Men 11? It's so rubbish compared to Microsoft Flight Simulator. I've said it before, this sort of massive angst between users, one a hardcore user over the other. They're both amazing sims. Really enjoy using Microsoft Flight Simulator and X-Plane 11. As I mentioned before, and I'll mention it again, you guys are incredibly lucky to have this level of immersion available to you from a desktop PC. Certainly in the case of the ZIBO mod, it is phenomenally accurate. I mean, not today, this one's a bit broken, but we'll go from there. Moving forward, it'll be fine. Andy, any plans for ETS2? I could do with a few pointers after next week. We'll be taking notes. I need to talk to Pilot Mike. Mike, as you well know, and I'll mention this here, Pilot Mike is a good friend of mine, and he's been helping me run the membership side of Discord. He's a 787 first officer. He has just launched a Twitch channel, which I'll go and fetch the link for, because I'm the only one that can post links, because can't give the power to. I'd love to give the power to members as well. I trust all the members, but unfortunately, only there's not that option. But my friend Mike has launched a Twitch channel. He's a 787 first officer. He's going to be, I think, mainly streaming games. Might be some simulator stuff as well. But I did say for our next Eurotrack simulator, we do a multiplayer, and I'd like him to do it as well. He's going to stream it on Twitch. I'm just getting his Twitch channel now. It's called Velvet Hands, and I will post a link of it here. So I don't know if Mike's here watching. I don't think he might be, but go check out my friend's Twitch channel, and we'll be doing some streams together. I'll be streaming on Flight Sim Gaming. He'll be streaming on his Twitch at Velvet Hands. We'll hopefully do some Battlefield, some other multiplayer games. Yeah, obviously with me being so busy at work and outside of work at the moment, the time I have able to stream is limited. Flight Deck Sim, the main channel, will always be prioritised over the Flight Deck Sim Gaming channel. So yeah, the content on that is, I don't think it's been over a month now since I've streamed on there. Obviously that was launched during the pandemic, where I had plenty of time, and streaming a little bit more frequently, maybe once a week, sometimes twice. Yeah, gaming. Obviously, I've been doing some gaming whilst I have any spare time, but not on the channel. I might do some more very soon, though. Cad, do you ever use flap 40 for landings? Yes, flap 30 is the preferred flap setting for approach. It even says it in the flight crew training manual. Flat 40 is generally for shorter runways, so you're talking in lengths less than... I mean, it depends on other factors, so if it's contaminated or you want to have a slower approach speed, you'd use flat 40. Yeah, generally, runways less than 2,000-ish metres, with a full load of passengers, you'll be looking at flat 40. Whatever it takes to land, we use a technique for landing, which is pretty much called brake to vacate, so we use a combination of flaps, auto brake, reverse thrust to make a desired exit. And to ensure there's sufficient timing. Guy, will there be a giveaway today? No, not planning a giveaway. If I ever do giveaways on streams, I'll make sure it's either A, pinned, or Nightbot would also give commands as well. I personally find it very rude, I think, in chat if you're asking for giveaways, but that's my personal opinion. I do giveaways on the channel. I do one monthly for the members, and obviously I haven't been streaming as much, so I haven't done many giveaways, but I'll always say on social media if there will be a giveaway, it'll be pinned in the top comment, or Nightbot would regularly inform you in chat as well. I can't really give away a ZIBO mod, unfortunately. Avgeek, are you using Vivid Sky or stock sky colours? Looks great, by the way, thank you. This is stock vanilla X-Plane 11. I'm not using any shaders, other things either, so it's all good. There you are, look, the sun's pretty much above the horizon now, and when we level off you'll see it set quite quickly as well. Remember when we took off it was just below the horizon. Oh, look at that. Taylor, random question. I heard long ago never to drink the coffee on board a flight since the water tanks are not often cleaned or sanitised. Any insight into the truth of it? Rubbish, Taylor. I've been drinking out of the boiler, which is at a temperature hotter than the sun. I swear the water that comes out of that boiler is well above 100 degrees Celsius. It should be steam. I've been drinking it for 10 years and I'm still alive and never felt ill after drinking it. So I can guarantee anything living in there would certainly be dead. Ethan, gonna brew a pot of coffee for the sector. Would anyone like some? Well, I'd like some, but I don't drink coffee. But if you're serving a hot drink, send it my way virtually. It'd be pretty cool. Jojo's directly out the boiler. That's pretty hardcore. Yeah, I don't think exactly. Well, maybe not exactly. I don't know, but the boiler's located in the galley. There's two, and it's just got a little tap on it. But yeah, it is scalding hot. You don't want to be. Basically, when I put that in my thermos flask, which I have for work, take my hot drinks, I can't drink out of it for 10 minutes. It's way too hot. Very cool. Upper Decat, what voltage does the galley equipment run off? Off the top of my head, I don't know. I do not know. Off the galley power. It would be in the FCOM. And once water is fully boiled for a minute, it kills just about anything that was living in it, yes. I will continue to drink it, despite the rumours. Cool. So, similar flight time, about an hour, once we get to top of climb. Now, what I'm going to try and do on this version, if there's no ATC, I think that bug was generated for the fact that because we passed the top of descent point, we were still level. It just, ZIBO didn't know how to deal with that. It used to work fine. It used to bring the speed back. It had speed recovery, so if you pass top of descent VNAV, it actually this is what we call speed compensation, so it reduces speed, so you can trade that speed for your profile. You can accelerate to increase your rate of descent there. That wasn't working at all. It was locked for that entire flight in cruise after top of descent. Even right up till landing, it was nothing I could do to get it out. So what we'll do, we'll ensure, well, as long as there's no ATC, that we at least initiate descent or let it start descent to top of descent, and we can actually see if VNAV's working at all. But on the test sector earlier, I was streaming to the guys at Discord. VNAV was completely broken. Well, on the initial descent, I say it was completely broken. On the initial descent, it was fine, but on approach, on final, it was showing me on profile it was actually about 3,000 feet high. I've not seen that before, but there's a lot of coding being changed to LNAV and VNAV at the moment, which obviously we're using to navigate 99.9% of the time. MGS1, which settings are changed from default in ZIBO config you accept the Honeywell panel? What I'll do, because I do get a lot of questions of people asking what my settings are, let's flick through the pages, and that way you can play back this part of the video if you ever want to have the same setup me. I have it very much set up based off my operators 737s, but we have such a varied fleet now. We have aircraft which are 15, 20 years old, we have some which are almost brand new, and everything's slightly different. We have some with Honeywell MCP, Collins MCP, some with the slightly different digital panels, some with the LEDs, some with the halogen, different radio tuning panels, MMR, different weather radars, yeah, so they can vary. But if you would like to see what I have, I'll go for it now. As I mentioned, or Nightbot mentions, YouTube has the ability to clip certain parts of the video. You can clip up from 6 to 90 seconds, so you can actually clip this, save it as a link, and you can view it back at your convenience. So let's start, well, PA system, and yeah, let's do one. Does that actually work?
Ladies and gentlemen, once again from the flight deck, we'll level off now at our cruising altitude. We're going to go ahead and turn off the fasten seatbelt sign.
Well, we don't, because of COVID at my operator.
You are staying in your seats to keep those seatbelts comfortably fastened for your safety. Onboard computer shorted on-time arrival.
Anthony, unbelievable. There you are. So, I mean, I haven't played any of the PAs, so I have 2, 2, and 1. Terminate flight, not that one, that one, that one. It's all on here, isn't it? Configure. So let's go displays of variants, exterior. There you go. That's what I have set here. But some of the aircraft, yeah, I vary this very occasionally, but usually I use that. Systems, there's page 1. RAS I have off, because it might have fixed out, but there was a lot. It was very buggy at one point. It was giving calls all the time. Page 2. And page 3. Norbert, seatbelts don't come off at my operator at the moment due to COVID restrictions. The seatbelt sign stays on. You don't have to stay in your seat. You just have to ding when you want to use the toilet. But yeah, we're trying to. Don't ask me. It's a regulatory thing. Some airlines seem to be doing it. Other ones do it as well, but it doesn't make sense to me. But it's to prevent people mixing in the cabin in a confined space. That's the reason. So where did we get to? Oh, more phone now. Settings. We did hardware page. Oh gosh, sorry guys. Where did we get to? Display variants. Exterior. Yeah, that's where we were. Systems page 1, page 2. We got to page 3. So Honeywell at the moment. Collins sounds the original MCP. RMI, yes. Displays. So I've got my 737 set up very old school. You have all like the MPS scales you can have as an option in the ZIBO mod. Displays of the PFD's pretty much got all the options now. There's page 2 displays, FMS. This is all set to my operator. Auto flight. Callouts. And placards. So many options, it's absolutely balmy. There we go. Hardware. RAS works fine now. RAS hasn't been giving me issues. Alright, might re-engage it then. Realism. Yoke movement is disco autopilot. It used to be years ago control wheel steering. Well, certainly on all ours, it's now disconnect autopilot. Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm getting lost of track here. Guys, so sorry. I did all that. Hardware. Did that. Realism. Yeah, that was right. Realism, sorry. Visual effects. With Vulcan, unfortunately, the skier rain effects aren't working. They are amazing. I have to revert to the previous version, but I quite like Vulcan and the performance it gives. They're all on show. Not sure what they are actually. Not sure what that is either. General config. Obviously in Europe, using kilos and hectopascals. Minimum radio barrier. I think that's where it defaults to. On that barrier. Sync pilot is just a lovely feature to have in a desktop simulator because you're on your own. That's general config, audio features. volumes, 3 5s, and 7. Yeah, we just turn that up on now. And calibration. There you go. That's my settings. I hope you found that useful. Some people would certainly be that. And I can now link that part of the stream now if anyone asks. Ugh, Will. That's gross. Hackad, yes, because you used that word. Excuse my nightbot, very strict, but I just some stuff happening. Thanks for subscribing, Paprika, as well. Very good. Andrea, hi Captain. I will land just after you in Milan. Your EasyJet 93 Echo Delta. Superb. Cool. Well, guys, look at that. 99 miles from top descent. No ATC, but let's see what we can expect today. Again, if you look at flight radar, have a look at flight radar now and have a look at aircraft landing in Malpensa. If you can get one from the south, I can guarantee you right now, yeah, look at this, it should be there. That's broken. There's nothing at the moment, even if you're on legs. I can assure you they're not doing this arrival in full. I should think if we're coming in from the south like this, prior to Mike Charlie 588, it's going to get a direct to a straight in here. For sure, but that's the full arrival coded. Hello Mel, how old are you and how long have you been working as a pilot? I'm in my very early 30s and I've been operating 737 for nearly 10 years. 10 years, my flight training just before that as well. Perfect. Right, anyway, 250 below 100s. Forecast winds, we'll punch that in now. Olbia Costa Malpensa, that's the right flight plan. Guys, tell me in chat, do you want to do the full arrival to test VNAV, or do you want me to set it up as I would do in real life, aka put in a lower level for a straight in, which I think a lot of these point merge are and have arrivals, so have a restriction basically to get you ready to go straight in on the approach anyway, so I think we'll do that. 6 and 31. This is like sort of perfect flight time for a stream, just enough time to have a little bit of a chat, and then we're straight into another approach. There we are. Q&H in Milan Malpensa. Anthony, longer than he sold chickens. Yeah, I've been flying planes more than I've been selling chickens now. Across that Lombok about 4 years ago. Straight in, yeah. I think that's what we'd be doing in real life. And I think the arrival will cater for that as well. So they're still forecasting thunderstorms, tempo between 1800 and 2400 Zulu, but at the moment it's fine. Few at 6000, 28 degrees, QNH is 1014. Execute. So let's try and find these arrivals. So we're expecting a Devox 2 Echo in Malpensa. No, I've got the wrong airport. I was thinking Las Palmas. It's looking a little bit sparse on the arrival chart. That's more like it, 31. Devox 2 Echo, there we are. So, Devox 2 Echo, look at that, wiggling around there. So, our first restriction really to comply with is this Mike Charlie 588. Flight level 120 or below. And what would probably happen, you might even, if it's really quiet, they might just give you straight from Devox to Mike Charlie 435. You've got to be below 5,000 feet at that point, which will put you a little bit low. So what I might do, well, excuse me, I'll read my, let's have a look at what we can expect here, because some guidance, which unfortunately is unavailable for you, but it is available for me, and it gives you great guidance telling you what you can expect if flying in from a certain direction. I can't share this unfortunately because it's my operators. So during off-peak arrivals you can expect the X-ray or uniform stars. So we've actually got an Echo, so we shouldn't get that star. But that's from the north. Flight crew should plan for shortened star routings, taking into account traffic conditions at time of arrival, which can lead to being high on profile. Doesn't really give much guidance actually. And what we'll do is see where that first restriction puts us, 120 above, and then what I'll probably do is just route direct to Inler or something. That will work out quite nicely. So let's temporarily delete the restrictions. I don't want to modify it too much because I really want to test VNAV for ZIBO. Mike Charlie 588. There it is, 120 below, and let's just go temporarily to Inler. You probably get even a direct Inler if it was really quiet. Just have a look at this approach for 3.5 left as well. Inler, mandatory 190, 4,000 feet. Okay, well, let's say 4,000 feet or above. By ATC though. Yeah, so we'd confirm with ATC, but I don't want to be left because I want to see if it does a vertical VNAV. Beautiful idle thrust CDA. Egg pop doesn't seem to be restrictions. Let's just put 3,000 feet or above there. FI3 Lima Zulu is going to be the FAF. So as I said, sorry, let's go from 588 to Inler. See what that gives us. This is just to give me an impression of what I can expect to be after meeting that first restriction. So that 120 below, the idea is you just stay on this, beating the restrictions until they send you direct to the initial approach fix. I should think that 120 puts us in a strategically good position to allow for a shortcut. So let's go to 588, which is there, so let's put it there. So that means Mike Charlie 588 then from Inler. If we temporarily delete restriction, VNAV would say for a straight in we'd like to be at flight level 96. Okay, so that's fine. What I'm going to do then, because we need to be at or below all of these flight levels, look, 120, 120, 90, there's no minimum restriction. There is 6,000 feet. What I'm going to do is just double check again. That restriction at Mike Charlie 58896. I'm going to put 100 or below. Complying, still here, not below a minimum. And that means that'll allow for a straight-in approach from Mike Charlie 588 for a direct. So just by lowering that profile by 2,000 feet, it allows for a bit of a continuous descent there. And that's what VNAV should be biting. If we go to the descent page, yeah, I'm trying to think now. I think even in the cruise, it should say waypoint altitude. So it should give us, yeah, okay, MC 588 it should say, and flight level 100. Certainly in the descent it will. I think even in the cruise, I mean, off the top of it, I don't know without looking. Pretty sure in the descent page it should give that information. So I think we're pretty happy with the arrival. We'll give ourselves a direct unless it's ATC, and onto the ILS, same runway we took off then. With a high terrain to the north is a big threat there. So 109.1's the ILS. 109.1. Courses are 348. And 3,000 feet platform at 7.2 miles. Do my capital ident. Check the minimum scan C. 896, so standard 200 AGL for catwalk. 896 coming up. So usually, guys, I would say let's fly an opposition approach or do something different. However, we did the test sector earlier and VNAV was very broken, as in if I used it for the approach we'd end up over the threshold of the runway at 3,000 feet. I've got a funny feeling it might do it again. So I will use VNAV for the initial phase of the descent. If it's all looking good on the ILS, I might do a raw data. Do a raw data ILS for you guys. It'd be good practice, I suppose. 3.5 left. 10.4. And 3 times height. We're cruising at 30,000 feet, so that would just be 90. Let's see where that puts us. So yeah, it looks like at the moment top of descent's where I'd expect it to be with that fixed ring, based on the straight approach. Cool. ILS then. Check that down to our minimums. If we have to go around to see why we're making an instant left turn to Nelab, sort of following the SID we followed earlier. You don't want to keep going north. You're going to hit the Alps. All right. So missed approaches. Climb on 348. And as soon as you get to 1,400 feet to left turn, max 210 knots to intercept to follow radial 267 from Malpensa. 1335. We'll put that on standby. 1335. 1335. And follow radio 267 to Naleb, join holding 4000. There we are. Pilots shall pay attention to military airport Cameri, not to be confused with Milan Malpensa. Don't land there. False localizer captures make take maximum caution, so be careful, making sure you tune the correct localizer on the right one. RVR is very good, 550 meters standard. So let's have a look at the airport briefing. 35 left, nice and long, 3,900 meters. It's a monster, so we could probably vacate at first 90 degree or high speed there, Lima, no problem whatsoever. That's around 3,000 meters, so I'm actually going to go flat 30 order break 2, having consulted the performance. We'll go idle reverse. This is the last flight of the day, and then we'll taxi on stand. Keep it nice and simple. There we are. So what we've got to make sure now is that ZIBO correctly behaves itself. I've already spotted something a little bit fishy. Why is that decel point at Anaki? Is it doing the same as before? Yes. Okay. It is definitely broken again. Look, Anaki, 207 knots. No, that is completely incorrect. That, yeah, I don't think we're going to have VNAV again. Why is it saying 207 knots there? That is very, very broken. Hello Alex Jones, hope you're doing well. Hello Simon Frog from Norway, hope you're doing well. Hello Nordsky, good to see you here as well. Ruben's been here from the start. Rishab, how bad is the wake turbulence when you take off just after a 747 or any other super or heavy aircraft? Excellent question. Pretty bad, enough to ensure that there's a significant separation between us and a 737 and a 747. We'll try and get this right. From a threshold, from the threshold of the runway, so if we're taking off full length, if there's a 747 ahead of us, we must wait 2 minutes. If we take off from an intersection departure after 747, we must wait for 3 minutes. ATC will ensure those times have been managed or met, let's say. So yes, wake turbulence from a large commercial jet airliner, the heavier they are and the slower they're flying, the greater the vortices generated, and it's enough to certainly roll a 737 upside down. Really, they're very powerful. I have had it, not to the severity of that, but I have flown with captains in the past who have told me they've had wake turbulence from a jet, a jumbo or something like that. It's rolled 60, 70 degrees. Yeah, pretty violently as well. So very much a factor. Oh gosh, right, there's top of descent. Let me set a lower level, see if VNAV works. And because I think the bug earlier was triggered by the fact that it didn't like us going past top of descent. So let's set 100, which is our restriction. See what VNAV does at top of drop at its decel point. 1 mile. Okay, there we are. So it is working. It just, if I pass it in the cruise though, it just completely breaks. And now the problem was on that last sector, it didn't trigger the descent. It was locked in cruise in the FMS, but no, it's now working. It's doing 284 knots. This is the weird thing, this decel. Why on earth has it put a decel point here? 207 knots at Anaki, even though the decel's over it. That's a bit of a bug. So let's monitor that and see how it behaves. Ah yes, stop on descent, thanks Andy. Plainly, if you have a two-step missed approach like 1500 until 2.4, then 2000, would you bug 1500 or 2000? Whatever's the lowest, yeah, you have to wait until that point. So 1500 feet in that situation. So initially, yeah, this VNAV behaviour is perfect. This is fine. Just want to see what happens when it gets to decel. Yaroslav, does the yoke actually move when the autopilot's in control? It does. It's Anakin again who causes the trouble. Oh, it's that waypoint, wasn't it? Well remembered. Hello, buddy. That's Jack. He's just entered the office. Oh, yeah, you want feeding soon, won't you? Okay, good. Right, so where's Anarchy? There's the decel. Let's see what the aircraft's going to do. So this is really, your beta testing with me, guys, making sure it's sort of behaving as it should. But at the moment, yeah, as I said, it's closed beta, so you don't have this one, but I wouldn't be confident taking this on a busy VATSIM event. I'm sort of glad we didn't choose one of the events today. Well, there was actually very few VATSIM events going on. Oof. Oh god. So again, guys, I might log off that so there's no ATC. I really want to make sure this mod's working correctly. Alright, that decel point I think is just a bug. See that decel circle? It's now moved up to DevOx, but it is still maintaining 284 knots. And what did it say before, 200 and something knots? I think it's just the information in the FMC is all inaccurate. Let me just delete the DevOx restriction. 207, yeah, it's a bit broken. So 250 below from 284, you'd expect the decel point to be just before, but it's overhead DevOx. It's a little bit inaccurate. I've just logged off, guys, so I really want to, I want to say messed around by ATC. It'll be really realistic, but I will provide self what I'd think we'd get here in Milan Malpensa, just really to make sure the mod's working correctly. But there's clearly some issues. Pepco, I saw the same issue with Skymatics in his stream tonight, also a non-public beta. Yeah, he's been testing with the ZIBO mod as well. I don't talk to him directly, I think we both have our own channels to ZIBO. Yeah, I've heard and him and the other beta testers ZIBO said have had the same issues. But that's what happens when ZIBO's fundamentally changing the coding from XLUA to C++, which has generated all these problems. Because we've had streams in the past, even over a year ago, of older versions where LNAV, VNAV has behaved flawlessly. But obviously, his mission to strive for perfection continues. And Melly, how close is ZIBO to real life? Rate 1 to 10. Well, this obviously is a closed beta, very buggy, so this version's not working as it should. But certainly previous versions, if I was to say, if I could compare it to how it flies in real life, I'd give it a good 9 out of 10, really. And, not being biased at all, it's genuinely the way it is. And even now, look, it's being a bit buggy, but VNAV is behaving very, very well. Idle path descent, nailing the path, speed's very close to target speed. It's very, very good. Just want to see what it does at each waypoint. Remember, we've allowed ourselves to have a straight in, so just before Mike Charlie 588, I'll route direct to the initial approach fix. That's straight in to 35F. I have now logged off of that. Hello, Tianta. Do you use Active Sky? Explain. How is it? It's yeah, it's a must for Explain 11 Active Sky. It injects the metars and represents the metars very well. It gets rid of the default Explain 11 winds. The variable gusty winds are not that great, very unrealistic. Active Sky sort of smooths it all out and provides, as far as I'm concerned, as close as how you can, certainly as close as you can get it to real life in a desktop sim. The crosswind, when you do crosswind landings in Explain 11, the sensation, the way the aircraft crabs and reacts to decrabbing using rudder with the leading wing coming forward and the roll, it's very, very clever, very good. Yeah, that's the main reason he's converting the code, guys. Yeah, from XLUA to C++ is to improve performance, and I think, as someone told me in Discord, it's easier to modify in the future. But that's it. Bloody G, what's up with the beta? So just modifying the route in LNAV and changing things. There's a few issues. Basically, it works fine in most phases, but if you give it something where it's not, for example, sure about, so if you pass top of descent you're still level, it just doesn't know how to deal with that at the moment. In previous versions it was fine. So there's the decel point for DevOx 250. So it's correctly adjusted the profile to pitch up to meet that speed restriction. You can see it's slowly moving back. That's correct. And it's a little bit late. It should be. Usually in the real aircraft, the decel point will be programmed so when you get overhead the waypoint, you're doing bang on the speed. But not far off. Not far off. Still saying 207, even though, yeah, the predicted speeds are incorrect. Major, is the Earth flat? Oh dear. I can't tell you that. No, I better not say anything. It is round as my forehead. It's round as my forehead. Scott, but keep in mind there's over 100,000 lines of code. Oh, absolutely. You know, I just know ZIBO is a very much a perfectionist. I'm. Don't get me wrong. I am certainly not complaining about these bugs. This is why this version is not public, and I get very frustrated when people complain about the smallest things and they say it's rubbish. I don't think they actually fully realise how difficult it is to program a complex commercial airliner. I mean, I've not flown any add-on which has a more accurate VNAV system, idle path system than this. I don't even want to begin to think how difficult it would be. Technically my forehead is flat, yeah, I suppose. Maybe I should have just said head. Oh dear. I'm digging myself a hole here. Let's just say it's as round as a football. Keep it simple. God, I probably think I look like one of the cartoon characters. What am I thinking of? I was like with flat hairs. SpongeBob SquarePants. I don't know. I'm going to stop now. Right, anyway. So, let's imagine we've now contacted Milano Radar, and they've coordinated with Malpensa. Oh, Alpaca to X-Ray Papa. Very quiet tonight in Malpensa. After Mike Charlie 588, route direct to initial approach fix Indler, and then that's it. Expect straight in number 1. That would be a typical restriction. So, okay. Oh, we planned for that because I put the 100 or below at Mike Charlie 588. So let's modify the route, see how ZIBO deals with that. I don't think there's any issues at the moment. If I brought this to 1 left, it causes issues. But if I bring it to 2 left, execute, it's happy. And you can see that 100, perfect, worked out nicely. In fact, it's left me a little bit low on profile. So I can actually delete that restriction now, because we don't need to comply with it. There we are, 1846, very good. Aircraft's now going to pitch up FMC speed. It's going to do 1,000 feet per minute until it captures the profile. Let's see how it gets us onto the approach here. So I think fundamentally, you know, is LNAV and VNAV broken? Yes, but only when you're modifying it or changing it. So long as you don't make those modifications, which you obviously need to do in a dynamic environment with air traffic control. That's it, let's say. It's behaving fine. But we'll see. Let's see if it gets us onto the approach first. I'm not going to touch it. This is a nice little test for the mod. ResX looks like a nice night landing. It will be. You can see, you know, there's enough light. Yeah, on the sun just around the round planet we have. There's still enough sunlight illuminating the sky there. Okay, so yeah, ATC said Mike Charlie 588 then direct to inland. Send 4,000 feet on the QNH. And when we get close to inland, they'll be likely to clear us on the approach. So again, look, you still see, look, it's being a bit broken. Mike Charlie 588 is commanding 207 knots in the FMS, but it's still correctly giving us 250. MC speed. Why is that just gone? Enunciated FMC speed. It's correct, but I don't know. Let's just get the QNH here first. QNH 1014. Do the post cruise checks. So, fuel 4 pumps, we have 4 tons on board, lights on, logos on, APU is off and anchor bank is set to 25 degrees of pressurization, 3.0 set, cool it down a bit, it's still quite warm this evening. Verify seatbelts on, recall, our check's complete. Oh yeah, someone did actually want the VST on, didn't they? Yeah, a bit basic, but keep an eye on it. Turn up Jim's main panel, otherwise he's got no refits. There we go. That looks lovely. Very nice. So far, bang on. VNAV's doing 1,000 feet per minute below profile. When it recaptures the profile, it should go idle path and maintain 250 knots. Very bright in the cabin. Actually, it dimmed the cabin lighting, but I can never remember where the controls are for that. Get night lighting in the cabin, guys. Ground services, is it? Cabin lighting, ground services. Night sleep, there we are. Medium. Ah, that's much better in the cabin. Perfect. I found it just before chat managed to come into chat. Right, so it's gone retard arm a little bit early. So we're going to slow down a bit. Usually wait until it's exactly on path. That decel point for inlet 190 again is incorrectly depicted. To go from 250 to 190, that's way too close at the moment. But we've not been sure what the predicted speeds in the FMS has been doing all day anyway. There we are, so routing towards inlet 190. Let's see if VNAV will start bringing the speed back to 190 for us anyway. It's got retard arm again. To FMC speed. There is the airport. Okay, the picture looks about right. There's that military airport they were talking about. But if you look at the airport, it's roughly where I'd expect to be, so I'm not too high, not too low. Distance-wise, 25 miles. I want to be around 7,500. That's where we are. Maybe a little bit lower. Oh no, obviously the elevation's 700 feet as well, so that's fine. Cool. So yeah, struggling now to maintain 250 a little bit, so it's correctly gone to FMC speed and retard, but then when it gets on that profile, yeah, it's a bit broken. It's only doing 700 feet per minute. That's going to keep slowing down, but now it okay. So look, it is now decelling for 190. All right, that's good. So that decel point is completely incorrect. That green circle should be exactly where we've started slowing down. And now all you need to do is bring the flaps out as it gets towards the upspeed. Oops, I forgot to set the QNH. No, maybe we can comply with the 190 knot restriction. Glide slopes come alive. Yeah, okay, not bad. VNAV is working just the way it's depicted the decel. It's broken, but it would seem if you modify your route or you are late descending, VNAV just you can't get it to work. Right, we're speeding up now, so flap 1. That will, if you don't open the speed window, it'll stay in FMC speed and just bug the speed there. If I open the window, it just goes to MCP speed. Maybe a little bit faster than 190 in there. There's flap 1, flap 5. The trim is accurate. That's maybe it wouldn't quite go in increments like that, but trim's a lot less than it used to, which is good. There's flat 5, localizer alive in 17 miles on Vorlock. Yep, very good, not far off at all. Almost 190 overhead inlet, ATC would be happy. Localizer alive, localizer capture, and we're heading 348 is set. I'm going to go vertical speeds. Just use what we call VS to finesse. I'm just going to manipulate vertical speed to stay on the glide slope until we get to around 10 miles. I'll bring the speed back to the flat 5 speed as well. Looking good. So one of the reasons you don't want to arm approach too early is it's out of its designated operational coverage. If your DOC is designated, I can't remember. Outside of 10 miles, it might not be accurate. So you want to, 12 miles inwards, you can arm approach really. But if you start arming approach at 30, 40 miles, you can get a lot of scalloping or interference with the glide slope. So you can use VS or another mode or VNAV if you want. But VNAV, you can see, might have left us a little bit high, probably slightly above the glide slope. But we're approaching 12 miles now. All looks steady, so I'm happy to arm approach. There we are, glide slope capture, and that missed approach was 4,000 feet, which is set on the MCP. Flap 5, nicely holding the speed. Keep an eye on it. We're looking good. Should I do a raw data? I fancy doing a raw data. We're not online or anything. Should I disconnect turn flight directors off? Yes. Autopilot disconnected. Auto throttle disconnected. And flight directors recycled. There we are. So raw data ILS now. At this stage here, target attitude to maintain the glide slope is just slightly above the horizon, around 800 or 1,000 feet per minute based on your ground speed. 200 knots is fine. Keeping a close eye on the speed, but it is slowly coming back. Big thing to help you when flying raw data is the your track. Okay, so if you see the localizer deviating, check your track is the same as the course. So 347. That should hopefully slowly get us back onto the glide slope. Might just go 346 there. Keeping the scan going. Whilst it's all perfectly quite trim, actually, I just want to start doing some of the landing flow. This will be done by PM, so starts, which is really cool. speed brakes are green light, landing gear. We'll just leave it there. We can configure the rest there. Perfect. So localizer's coming back in nicely. Let's now we're back on the localizer. Reset that course to 348 on the ND. This is exactly what I taught when I was an SFI with the raw data, which is one of the hardest elements of the type rating. Starting to slowly add thrust now to maintain the flat 5 speeds, but that will obviously want the nose rise. So make your inputs to keep it on there. Obviously I'm visual as well, which helps. Tad low on the glide slopes, just arrest that rate of descent. Let's go to around 800 feet per minute. Probably configure a little bit sooner, around 5 miles or so. Again, slightly left of centre line, because look at my course. Bring the track ND here into your scan, very useful. 348 is what we're looking for. So let's, if you go 348 or less than that, we're going to keep deviating. So let's go for 349. There's 5 miles, so we're going to start configuring. Get out flap 15. There's a bit of a balloon when you extend the flaps. I'm going to go straight to the VREF speed. So landing gear down. 3 green. There's that balloon, and I've not really done much about it. So just go to around 1,000 feet per minute. No more. That's way too much. 1,000 feet per minute. Going to capture the glide slope. Flap 30. Target attitude flap 30. 1 degree and about 57% at this gross weight. So start feeding in that thrust. Trimming those down now. Flaps, we have 30 green light. Imagine we clear to land, checks complete. Perfect condition, no wind either. Right, so glide slope's good on the localizer, and now when you get close to the runway, you start looking outside. Keep the runway, same point the windscreen all the way until you get over the threshold, but don't look at it during the flare, look towards 2/3 or the end of the runway. Alright, so bringing the scan outside helps the situation in terms of positioning. 2 reds, 2 whites.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Birch, altitude set.
Thank you, Jim. Good. Yeah. Nice small inputs. We need a little bit more thrust than I'd expect. Yeah, usually 57 is fine for flat 30 at 60 tons, but I'm using around 60-ish. Descent's a bit high, so yeah. The landing gate don't want to be doing more than 1,000. A bit low now as well. There we are, back on profile. It's a bit of an aggressive input there. Right. 500 continue, fully stabilised, keep that picture now all the way until touchdown. Oh, getting a little bit low again. There we are. There we are, just get back into trim. Speed's good.
300.
Keep it descent. Keep dipping to 3 reds. Continue. Almost there.
200.
Check.
Minimum.
Continue. A little bit low on speed, just get above VREF. So you've got to keep that scan going, but mostly looking outside now. A little bit high.
50, 40, 30.
Check.
20.
Close.
10.
Hold the altitudes. Try not to float all the way down the runway like I'm doing. Come on, where are you? Another 100 feet per minute. Right. Speed brakes up, reverses. Yeah, not bad raw data. I've done far better on streams. Right. 100 knots. Manual braking. Take the next exit here. And 60 knots, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Milan Malpensa. There we are. Reverses we can stow. Flaps we can select up. Speed brakes up. We'll take the next left. And yeah, we'll try and return on the stand we started the day on. I always try to do that, as you know. A little bit late turning. Early turning then. The radar off. Lights coming off. Strobes to steady. There we are. Oh gosh, my taxing's all over the place there. Cool, so we vacated at... oh, Jack knows I've just landed. Delta Alpha. We'll carry on this taxiway here. Let's go to the parking stands. Delta Alpha's up here, I guess. Yes, there we are. So we're going to take... What was it we started on earlier? 406, wasn't it? Oh, very good. That was a perfect exit. We'll take a left on Yankee, which is going to be the next left. We'll do the rest of the cleanup then. Transponder to out off. Oh, yes, replay music. We need that. Bring to off. Trim we'd reset as well. Flight directors. Oops. Oh, coming off. set the MCP speed to 100, 4,100. Make the left turn here. Get the APU up and running. Dear, what am I taxiing today? Dreadful. There we go. Let's stand 405. A little bit lower than 406. With a thrust. That is exactly where we started the stream. Well done, X-Plane 11, for not collapsing. Braking. Good, yeah. There's 406. Try and do a better turn on to stand than I did in Olbia. So, better. Yes. A little bit left, perhaps. I'm slightly better at real life. Right, Boeing 738. Good shutdown engine number 2. APU available on the bus. Ah, yeah, it would be saying slow down at this rate if I was coming in this fast. Nearly there. Oh, doesn't say stop, it just turns off. Well, no problem. Right, parking brake is set. 2 blues, 1 red, edges dead. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Milan Malpensa. Lovely, jubbly. Airbridge, is that going to come, I wonder? I do. Love the lighting. Yeah, the lighting's very nice. Listed in X-Plane, I have to admit. And especially with the floodlights like this, it illuminates everything really nicely, even in the cockpits. You get all the lighting there as well. Maybe I'll just do the full shutdown checks here. So fuel pumps off, ground power connected. Actually, you know what? For the replay, I better leave that on the bus, otherwise it might do some weird stuff. Window heat comes off. Electric hydraulic pumps off as well. You can open that. Make sure the N2 is below 20%, which it is. There we are. And that brings the airbridge anyway. There we are. Shutdown checklist complete. Full shutdowns. Sweet. Very enjoyable. We obviously had some issues with the mod today, but I should think ZIBO will hopefully find this invaluable and fixing things. I know he often plays them back and has any questions about particular points on the stream. So yeah, it was nice to test out. I hope you enjoyed this element. I know sometimes we obviously, well, sometimes we're always on VATSIM and the network, and the ATC at the was great at the start here, but as there was no ATC here, I really wanted to kind of just see if the mod was okay for ZIBO. That's why we got sort of logged off there. But yeah, it was worthwhile and I really enjoyed it. Just coming back, I've just done 5 days at work. It's on my 6th day in a trot. To see it all working. You know, the change from work into this, it really isn't that much. It really isn't that much adaptation. You know, I have to adapt that much. Thank you very much, Power Set, for the $2. He says, hello, wish you could fly the 777 and 737 MAX I made. Oh, Power Set. Well, I've not heard of you as a developer. I generally fly well-reviewed aircraft or ones that have been emailed to me saying, "Oh, can you try our aircraft out?" Well, send it over and I'll have a look and I'll let you know. Thank you very much, Power Set, for your $2 donation. Thank you very much, Ollybox Gamers member for 3 months. See your highlighted comment says, yay! Hello. Thank you very much. Cool. I hope you enjoyed the raw data anyway. It wasn't that incredible. It was, usually in carbon conditions it's more difficult because you're not concentrating as much on this. Cool. It was almost the same rate as the last one. Yes, it was. Good consistency was listed. It was. Very, very good. Major, what's the song? That song was... What is... it's called Chinua. I Made in M. It's on the royalty-free playlist on Spotify. Rob, you crashed off the coast of Pisa. Oh dear, Reverend. I'm sorry to hear that. Cool. Right. Well, thank you very much to everyone that joined the little stream today. And you voted for this one as well. I hope to stream in the next few days. I think it'll be the Felis 747-200. That was well received. Very close second to this one as well. I think of a nice little section. I think I'll venture on VATSIM on that one. I'll probably route using the INS, but I'll back it up with conventional navigation and try and find some airports where they don't... You know, it's very hard now to find airports which which are not RNAV based. You know, we need to find somewhere where it's a little bit conventional, somewhere challenging. They'll need to do DME arcs or procedural approaches, and we'll take the jumbo into somewhere like that. Maybe I might do something in Microsoft Flight Simulator in between as well. I'll let you know in the social media feeds as usual. Right, I keep doing this. I should do this when I finish the replay, but I always do this after just parking on stand. But anyway, we'll turn the music down here and cue the funky replay music. Where are you? Oh, there you are. There we go. Excellent. So, there we are. 3 hours 35. Yeah, look, 3.5 hour stream. Not bad for 2 seconds. Usually stretch on over 4 hours, but I should think that was me going offline for the last part of the 2 flights. You should spend most of that time at the whole point. Right, let's ditch fly live. Crank up the volume slightly. There we go. Ah, there's the door open again. Lovely. That sound is very good though. People say that's not realistic. That's an amazing sound. Yeah, it was pretty much the same as last time, wasn't it? There's a check. A little bit more afloat though compared to Olbia. The one in Olbia was exactly where we wanted to touch down. Texture on the runway are great. The light illuminating over that. That's mega. Sweet. Let's have a look at a tower view. Door air brake extended? Yes, it is Nictus. Do one more for the tower. Do love this livery as well. That's super cool. Still in the touchdown zone, a little bit late. Touching down, there we are. And nice idle reverse. Idle reverse generally using on the last landing of the night, or on a longer turnaround, just for noise, wear and tear, I guess. Cool, well that's it guys. I hope you enjoyed that 2 seconds a day in the ZIBO mod 737. Nice bug testing, bug catching. Hopefully these issues will be rectified and then it'll be updated for you to use and enjoy there. You know, a lot of the things you can't see, the improvements are under the hood, let's say, like the depiction or how LNAV's working in the background, but I can assure you it'll be, once it's released, it'll be working very well. There might be some issues, but you know, ZIBO is very good at releasing hot fixes to ensure they are all fixed. Look at those lights, that's mega. Awesome, well, as ever, thank you very much to everyone that donated. Thank you for your contributions, that's very, very kind. To everyone that subscribes today, thank you, welcome to the channel. To all the regular members as well, thank you very much for your continued support as members. Glad you enjoy the content as ever there.
30,
thank you very
20,
much, Fish Burb. Oh, okay.
Power Set is part of the WW team.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll see. God, she got a lot of tension. I don't know what the situation is with this one. You know, I'll do whatever ZIBO tells me. I work directly with him, so if he lets me use it, I'll perhaps try it. But very much depends. On that controversial note, we'll end the stream there. And guys, I'll see you all on another live stream very soon. Stay safe. See you soon. Bye bye.